where nightmares collide. Monsters in the shadows, nowhere to hide. Lighthouse flickers, visions in the dark. Every step forward, another ripped apart. Street filled with whispers, eyes always peek. Nightmares descend, sanity's on the streak. Doors creak open, shadows start to move. Town's got a rhythm, every step's a groove. Farmville nights, monsters out to feed. Trapped in visions, fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift. Screams echo through the misty air. Every corner turned, you find despair. Hope is a phantom, trapped in the gloom. Monsters own the night, sealing your doom. Town's got secrets, buried underground. Every lost soul, here they are found. Cursed by the darkness, can't break free. Vision after vision, haunting memories. Farmville nights, monsters out to feed. Trapped in visions, fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift.
You don't fucking break me. That's what she said.
Fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift.
What? Okay, say it again. I know. Come on, please don't. Hey, don't. Okay, look at him. Keep looking at him. I'm sorry. You're so strong. Just. No. I know. God. I know. No. Look at me. Look. Keep your eyes on me.
And welcome everybody to another From Stream. And man, this was an awesome episode, Dana. I liked it personally anyways. I think they're getting better and better. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. And that's what we're going to dive into. And yes, guys, that was the intro technically for last week, but we're going to keep the song and I'm going to recreate it with this week's episode for our next stream Friday night. So look forward to another song. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. But welcome everybody, and also welcome to my panel. We will have some more folks joining us later, but welcome Dana and the one and only Lord Ravener.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Of course. Yeah, a couple more people will be joining. But yeah, can't wait to talk about tonight's episode or Sundays, man. Crazy, very strong. Another very strong episode, a strong 1-2 beginning for the season. So yeah, my optimism is still way high. I mentioned it last night with Jeremy, is like, we did privately, after, when the season finally came around with all the anticipation, we just, shared a moment. We're like, fuck, dude, it's so good that it didn't suck. We're so lucky it didn't suck. We've had it happen where, shows that we very much anticipated just didn't really pan out, and we try to put a happy face on it, but it's tough to do. This one is really paying off. The waiting was absolutely worth it.
Oh yes. I mean, I'm excited. Honestly, like you said, for the wait. I've never been so excited for a show to know what's going to happen next, to the point to where I don't even, like, people are like, oh no, there's little photos and stuff, but that I know are released from MGM, but I don't even want to see them. Like, I want to, but I'm like, no, I'm so excited to just kind of see it happen because they're giving us so much in every episode. I don't want to I don't know. The temptation.
I don't know. Do you guys think they're going to be able to keep up this pace? Like episode 1 was good. This episode was good. Do you think they'll be able to keep and maintain this pace throughout the entire season?
It does seem jam-packed. It seems packed with both action, a little bit of action, and then some reveals as we go through and talk about the different scenes. In a breakdown, we'll talk about the different things. But there were some spooky moments, Fatima in particular, and of course the call with Jim at the very end. It's like,
Yes.
hold on, wait a minute. What is going on here with this? Is Thomas, but yet he's only a baby. When he was a baby when he died. Is he really died?
Don't be like a 5 or 6 year old or something.
Right. I'm thinking 0% chance it's really him, of course, but again, they just leave us hanging. They leave us, and not even hanging like in an unsatisfied way. It's hanging in a what the hell just happened. A pretty good cliffhanger and anticipation for episode 3 even. So definitely worth it. A whipsaw of emotion in this one. Kenny, Ricky, he was fantastic in this episode. I thought we always expect Harold Perrineau to be outstanding, and he absolutely was in this episode too.
He better be getting some awards. A lot of the cast better on this season in particular. I mean, I don't think I've cried so much in the first part of the season.
It was.
Oh my God, my mom was a mess. My mom was a mess after this episode. I was telling everybody, she was like yelling at me at the same time as crying. Why did I make her watch this show? As she's like with her tissues and like just sobbing.
Yeah, and they showed the sharp fingers of the monsters like going into Tian-Chen's leg and that stuff. And then what was really wild was when he was carrying her, and they must have cut that part out when they added the part where he was carrying her when Boyd was carrying her in both hands when she's wrapped up in the blanket. I think they must have either skipped the part or when they put it in the trailer. But that part where her leg was sticking out and you just saw like a big flap of flesh just hanging there. So they didn't spare us the gore in this one. All the gore that they didn't show in episode 1, they really, they gave us some nice, if that's what you were looking for, nice scenes of practical special effects, blood and gore and whatnot. We saw Fatima spit out her tooth. That was kind of
that was gnarly. Oh, that's like out of all the things that grosses me out the most is when you see in horror movies like the teeth or nails like just falling out or pulling out, especially the ghost ones. It's the obsession with teeth and stuff. Great.
It was rough, especially seeing Boyd like having those flashback visions of it. Like as he's walking, you could just see like it was just he's never gonna be able to forget that. It's gonna just stay with him, and I think everybody talks about this place breaking Boyd. I think that was honestly the moment he broke.
Well, guys, we are gonna dive into it, but let's say hey to all you guys hanging out with us tonight before we get too much further, because we will gab away. Because this was good. It was a good episode. Let's see who we got. We got Pagan Sky hanging out with us. What's up? What's up? We got Golden Child hanging out. We got Daryl Seymour. Let's see who else we got. Uh-oh. Is it freezing up on me? Okay, there we go. We got Illegal Mods hanging out with us. I see Snuggy Jr. hanging out. What's up, Snuggy? We got Baby Clay Media and Reactions. Always welcome to see you here. See, let me keep going. Oh, I see Laser Bean Sports. Welcome, welcome. Coyote Bong Rips.
I love that name.
I see Susie Greenberg. Welcome, welcome. Always welcome to see you. And of course, welcome to see Robert Sanders. Welcome, welcome. And Bitey. Always happy to see you guys. Some of our regulars. A lot of you guys becoming regulars now too. So
I know, it's awesome. Thank you guys.
Delcenia hanging out with us tonight. What's up, hon?
There she is.
We got the man in black hanging out. Let's see who else we got. I see PM hanging out with us.
Yes, I put a message into the chat for you, PM. I really need you to get back to me because we have your prize. So if you can message me in the Discord, that would be amazing so that I can add you to the list and get everything mailed out.
Yes, get those t-shirts out. I know you guys are waiting
I
on
think
them.
he won the Funko Pop.
Oh, was it the Funko
Yeah,
Pop?
he won the pop and the keychain.
Awesome. Still, that was an awesome prize as well.
Yes.
I see Andy hanging out with us. Welcome. Hope you are having an awesome Monday start to your week. And I think that is everybody. And if I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. But I think I got you guys. All right, but yeah, awesome episode. Where shall we begin, Dana?
I know we have a couple of people coming on with us throughout the night, so people are going to be popping in. But I guess we'll start with you, Ravener. What was your favorite moment?
Oh no. Did we lose him?
Did we lose our Dark Lord?
Oh no, here we go. I'm sorry, I muted just in case. No, man, I was gonna say there were so many strong moments that really popped out. The gross out of Fatima eating those rotted veggies and stuff, and all the implications that it brought with it. But honestly, for me, the one moment, if I had to boil it down, the one that springs to mind immediately was that the scene where when Jim and Kenny are walking back into town, triumphant, joyous, guys, we got food, and then everybody's looking all somber. Jim's like, where are my kids? Boyd's like, your kids are fine. And then nothing for Kenny. Kenny's like, where's my mom? We need to go inside. We need to step inside. Oh man, that rug pull, that heartbreaking moment. And then when he turns and just yells to the empty house, he's like, Ma, he starts in English, Mom, then it's like Ma, and then he starts speaking in Cantonese, which was, I'm back. Where are you? And he's just crying out. That scene right there just went right to my heart. And I was like, wow, okay. Kenny, even when he was written, because a lot of people don't like Jim. Everybody has their favorites and everybody has their least favorites, but a lot of it is in how they're written. A lot of the weakness in Jim is how Jim is written. Kenny is always written like, last season he was really erratic in his actions, throwing the ornament of Sarah's, kind of how he reacted to Boyd, how they wrote him in reacting to discovering Boyd's betrayal. In this case, man, they wrote him perfectly, and Ricky, he acted it perfectly, and he was the most consistent one. This will be a theme that we probably go back to over the course of the night, but the acting was very hit and miss for me. The writing was still decent, but the acting was kind of really highlighted who has the chops and who doesn't. But Ricky, he in this episode really pulled off the cry without overdoing it or underdoing it. And even later, the scene where he breaks down and Boyd just has to like stoically give him the literal shoulder to cry on.
I know.
It was just perfect. It was perfect. And man, poor Boyd. I did feel that Ricky, he was the highlight of this episode in the acting. And again, like I said, right from the jump, Harold Perrineau is always excellent. But Boyd in this, the way they wrote Boyd, this guy, he just went through a huge freaking ordeal too. He spent the night watching somebody get tortured to death, and yet he's still the guy who is the shoulder to cry on. He fits that role. He is Mr. Fish and Loaves. And I've said this like last season, the season, whenever, from the time we heard Fish and Loaves, that is the role that Boyd is the man for all seasons. He's the guy that the people need him to be for any one moment. He can be soft when they need somebody soft, and he can be hard when they need somebody to be hard. He was perfect in the scene where Kenny was breaking down. Harold barely, had much to say. He was just like, I know, man, just, I know. He just let him cry. And sometimes less is more, and this guy pulls it off every dang time. So, kudos, congratulations, outstanding job for these guys, the way they did it. But I know I'm really going long on what should be a simple answer.
It's like, because there's so much. There's so much to say. And let's welcome Mr. JH. How are you this glorious after From evening?
Yes, welcome.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Yes, that's the best. Donna was on something a little extra. They breaking Donna.
Yeah, and
I'm fine.
That was a perfect line from Boyd too, because it was like, it was, if anybody's ever been in a fight with especially a girlfriend or something, it's like, you should have done something different. I mean, what do you want me to do? I don't know, but something different. Like, what? That's not an answer, man. Come on.
Well, welcome. Thank you for joining the panel tonight. We appreciate you as always, my friend.
Yes.
So we were just starting off with the questions. What was your favorite moment in this packed episode?
Where you at right now?
Boyd putting a smack.
He hit the bell there. It ain't the perfect screenshot, but yeah.
Was that a bell? Okay, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, he hit the bell. He knocked that thing off of there. He's pissed. I don't blame him though, because she was a little bit. I love Donna, crazy.
Yeah, so that was your favorite moment?
Yeah, I gotta go with that.
I know, it was like you felt it, right? Like when I'm team, everybody in our community knows I am Team Donna. I am always on Donna's side. No mole talk with me, no nothing. That's my girl. But last night I couldn't get on her side. Even I was like, I can't rock with you in this moment. I was like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But that last night's episode was just so jam-packed. But thank you, everybody, for coming. I know we're going to have, I think, Jeremy pop on in a little while. And we are missing Real this evening because he is still dealing with everything in the aftermath of the storm. He will hopefully be joining us back next week. He's trying to catch up on all his From videos for you guys, so you get his content and his theories and everything out there. But if Real is listening, know that we're thinking about you. We miss you, and we can't wait till we get you back with your awesome self.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because Real is just, they're going through a lot down there from the storm. So anybody impacted by the storm, know that we're thinking about you guys. Our hearts are there for you guys, and it's a lot of loss right now, a lot of loss. So I know Susie is also dealing with family members who were impacted a bunch with the storm. So if you could forward us the link, Susie, and we'll drop it for you for anybody who wants to reach out to Susie. And I know she's doing something for people impacted by the storm. So if you drop your link to me, I will certainly share it, or one of the mods will share it with you for you. And so again, storm, guys, we're a lot of stuff going on, but back to our awesome From. So JH, how do you think Boyd is going to capture one of the monsters? And if so, what monster do you think he's gonna snag?
Cowboy. That's the only one that really makes sense. From what I gather, I feel like sort of an interrogation is coming. So that's the only monster that's had really screen time.
Right. And one that he really wants to make a point out of, right?
Yeah.
But how you think he's going to do it? What do you think he's going to do?
It's going to have to be at night.
Think he's going to use the talisman in some way?
Yeah. He's going to have to use something as bait, though. You would think.
Oh, I wonder what. Like, you think he'll be like, they don't care about the animals, so it'd have to be a person, right?
Ellis. He said, I need you for something. So.
Bait. Your bait.
Come on, son. I need a favor from you.
Get on that hook and wiggle. You're the worm. Oh no. Wow. Okay. Wow.
What about you, Scarlett? What do you think? What do you think he's gonna do? Think he's gonna
I
go for the
mean,
cowboy?
I would think he would love to go for the cowboy. I would hope he would go for opportunity, but yeah, they're pretty mad. So I thought maybe, I don't know why. Let me back up my screenshot. Find this guy real quick. I don't know what it was, but the mechanic dude. Wait, there was an image of where he was just smiling. It might be in this episode actually.
Oh,
When
you think he's going for the mechanic?
Yeah, he just had the smile on his face. Hang on, let me get it back to these from
That's
this
a
week.
really big monster to go after.
I don't know, man. He had this face that really just pissed me off, and it was when Boyd was kind of, reliving what happened, and they're sort of showing. I'm sorry, I can't find it fast enough. But yeah, there was something about his face. He was smiling, and he's so happy over there. He's just, I don't know. Boyd watched him smile at her. I don't know.
I know we talked about this on Jeremy's show last night, but Ravener, what do you think? How do you think they're going to try to capture one of these monsters? What do you think Boyd's going to do?
Well, they're gonna have to keep their mouth shut because we know that there is surveillance going on. You can't talk about, these are our last. This livestock is our last resource. Saying it out loud, yelling at Randall, and then bam, the very next night, they open the livestock and let it loose. They know that in one way or another, the town is being surveilled. They knew Tabitha was digging. They knew something. They knew what was going on. So whatever Boyd has in mind, he needs to keep it under his hat. Maybe like literally under his hat. Pull a blanket up over his head and go forehead to forehead with Ellis and be like, "Here's what we're gonna do."
Message board, write that shit to each other. Get some shit to hold up like pieces of paper. Maybe they won't be able to infiltrate that.
I was thinking maybe a pit. I don't know that they teach you that in the military. Different things. We've all heard of stories of pits with punji sticks and stuff. What would be a good way to as long as they actually do catch the monsters unaware, and you guys made a good point, they're going to have to use something human as a bait, somebody that the monsters feel is getting caught off guard or a target of opportunity, something that they can't miss, that would get them to go right there for them. And it's so, it would be really weird to just dig a pit, cover it with twigs and stuff, and hope they fall into it. But there are a lot of things, and I'm seeing this again and again in this episode, and we saw it in last episode, and it's just an overarching thing where the writers are just like when they gave Victor's dad's address inside the lunchbox, they're going directly to the answer rather than belaboring a point or going around. And I know it's anathema to us who do a whole lot of theory crafting and stuff. Everything has multiple layers, everything has deep significance. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they're going directly to the point, and I'm actually enjoying it. That's why it feels like these episodes are packed with info and a lot is happening, because they're not going around in circles and dragging things out and wasting precious seconds of the episode of screen time on things that don't ultimately have a payoff. Yeah. But I think I'm trying to think. I always from square one thought it would be a pit. I thought they'd dig a pit. I thought they'd maybe put stakes in there to try to keep them from going away. People were like, well, we don't know if they have superpowers, if they'll be able to jump right out. Other people will then put a lid on it, throw a talisman on the lid to keep them from jumping out. Mm-hmm. Possible. Again, we still don't know. We know they're nocturnal, just like they do come out at night. That's established. We don't know that sunlight does anything to them. It didn't do anything to Smiley's dead body. Mm-hmm. We just don't know, and that'll be another great thing to establish. Maybe they do stake somebody. When people were talking about how bullets didn't affect them, well, maybe spearing them, sticking them up on impaling them and making them immobile.
Immobilizing them. I saw somebody, I think it was Debbie, who put up in the chat the bear traps. Mm-hmm. Now that they're emphasizing the bear traps, because I know, Jade, did you see it on the cabin? There was like chains and stuff hanging. I'm thinking that maybe whoever was in that little cannibal village that everybody is calling it, they use those bear traps, but we don't see any bears. Do you think whoever used to live in those little cabins may have used those bear traps for the monsters?
That's interesting. I mean, there's no reason to doubt. We don't have anything one way or the other, but we definitely can't dismiss it, right?
No.
Right? Like we
they
saw
had those
In
totems.
the existence of any captured monsters, though.
True. They had those totems, spaced out. And you think that here's another thing. Do you think those totems were like proto talismans, something that at one point had effect, but maybe the same way the talismans can lose their protection, in certain circumstances, like if somebody willingly opens the door? Do you think the scarecrows lost their effectiveness and maybe caused a massacre at Cannibal Village?
I think they do have some type of protective property.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even what's the word I'm looking for here? Because the garden was within the totem poles, right? Or was it outside?
Like a proximity, like an exterior proximity effect? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, see that guard. See, I didn't really key in on that thing. I was like, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
It does look like grain, right?
Like, yeah, you see how it's like Scarlett pointed that out, that it's like a 4 of them.
I don't remember if it was Robert or Bitey or some of them guys in the Discords were talking about it, wanting us to point it out. And let me see, I think did I not get a better one? I think there might be a better one in Jeremy's. I just did not get a chance to check out those photos.
And we haven't been briefed on the questions, so if we go off on a tangent and leap ahead
by the way, I was going to get to the chat because I'm going to get to some of you guys' comments, but first and foremost, I got to get to Crazy Matt. I'm not gatekeeping you. I'm keeping you safe. That's what I'm doing, Crazy Matt. I love you, and I don't want.
I'm ignoring his lasagna comments.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep.
I'm ignoring him. He's not going to get to me with lasagna tonight. Yes, JH is not familiar. Me and Crazy Mad have a lasagna beef. He is a Stouffer lasagna man, and as an Italian, I only eat homemade lasagna, and we have a little bit of a rivalry going with Stouffers versus homemade.
So, not gatekeeping. I'm simply keeping you safe.
So if you see Crazy Mad talking about lasagna in the chat, they're directed at me.
I'm keeping the peace here, but let's see what you guys are saying about this episode. So Daryl says the Boyd and Donna scene was lit. Yes, it was indeed. Told her. I put her in place a little bit. See, Robert Sanders is asking us, Elgin is looking to be a strong candidate for the chosen one, and perhaps Tilly was a former chosen one who had failed as referenced by Henry. And yes, I know we had talked about that last night, Dana, on Jeremy's. And I did like how you were saying there's possibly the 2 factions, so there's 2 chosen.
That's what I was thinking, because we know that there was something going on with Christopher and Victor's mom, Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
He was seeing the vision, like the symbol, like Jade was seeing the symbol, and then you have Miranda seeing the children and hearing the children, like Tabitha's hearing the children. So if there is a cycle with 2 factions at play, possibly both have a chosen. What about you, JH? You think like this whole chosen and Henry kind of saying that his wife said that there were those before him? Do you think that Tabitha is going down the path of Miranda?
Yeah, most definitely. But you were saying chosen on both sides.
Yeah, like that. Wouldn't that
look
be?
At these pictures. I'm trying to find one.
Because we know there's a good and a bad. That's at least what everybody has come to a consensus with. That there's 2 forces at play here, possibly. So if so, and why wouldn't both have someone who's chosen for them?
Because I don't know how close you've paid attention to the paintings. There's this one which seems more like a darker faced, almost evil entity type of a pilgrim, or what people are calling the pilgrim. Then there's some others that are seemingly like the same dress and everything, but their faces, I'm trying to find those real quick. They are not exactly as, I would say, evil. They're more, there's the one over here, it's sort of white face. It's more like the features are formed as if this was human. The other was sort of darker. There was a few more in there as well. But just sort of how there's these similar images. Same thing, I think, with the soldiers. Some of these faces appear to be distorted in some way, and some seem to be more I don't want to say good, but they're not as creepy. So maybe there's like two factions and there's a chosen for each side.
Yeah, I think that might be a possibility. But speaking of our wonderful chat, I saw Michelle drop in. She's my friend from our Facebook group. So hello, Michelle. I just wanted to make sure she knows that I see her. Hello. Thank you for stopping by. She's got some good thoughts. Her and Martina, they have some good thoughts on some stuff. So you guys need to hop into Facebook and read their group. Lots of good stuff within them. But so
See what else
now,
we get. Hang on, let me just get a few more. I highlighted
sure.
a few. Debbie says Boyd's apology to Tan Chen broke my heart. Harold deserves every award ever. Yes, that was the most heartbreaking scene ever when he was finally able to be released from his cuffs and he told her how sorry he was. I cried. I cried a lot in this episode.
I did too. This was very emotional. It was very, very emotional.
And yes, also the reveal at the end about the drug fueled art and his total lack of concern about Eloise. Yes, where's Eloise? Like, is she forgotten? I mean, we know Victor forgot her. Apparently, Dad just kind of like, I guess, assumes she's alive. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Where's Eloise?
Well, that's a good one. Where do you think she is?
She's
James?
somewhere.
Right?
She is somewhere. I'm not giving up hope. We're going to see Eloise.
I hope so, because I was thinking this whole time we was going to find Eloise. That was the way that, Tabitha was going to find her way back home. Through Eloise. Or get back to her family. That's not quite how it worked out.
Yeah, justice for Henry too, man. He turned out not to be, because even before they knew Henry was Henry, even before the dude had a name, people were writing elaborate stories about, Miranda packed her kids into the car and fled this abusive husband and da da da. Before Henry was Henry, before he ever saw the dude, before he had a name, and now it turns out, nah, man, just a heartbroken guy. Waving that gun around. Man, this show has the wildest gunplay of any play in any show I've ever seen. Waving the gun, you're gonna sit down, even right up to the minute when Tabitha woke up. At the very beginning of this episode, he's like, "You're gonna sit right down," and we're like, "Oh shit, maybe there is something. This guy's, not great." No, he's just, I bought the gun 40 years ago. Yeah, I never bought. Yeah, I bought it 40 years ago and never even loaded. Yeah, it's like, wow.
Is Victor's gun loaded?
The way Ethan was eyeing it, I hope not.
Well, no, it was. He
shot it. I don't know how many bullets he has.
He fired it once for the dog, right?
Yeah.
And welcome everybody who is joining us. We are just going over this awesome episode. Let's see, we had some good stuff. Let's see. Let's see, Robert had some more stuff. Let's see. Robert said deadfall trap made out of one of the old. Okay, you were talking about how to trap the monsters. Okay, yeah, deadfall trap made out of one of the old foxholes that they used to hide in, and he will use himself as bait. Okay. So Boyd going to use himself?
We know that they don't want to kill Boyd, so I don't think him being bait would be enough of a...
Robert confirmed. I don't know if you were talking about Boyd or not. I might have just caught that, and he might have said like a name prior.
They ain't going to kill Cowboy. They're not going to kill Cowboy. He's, number one, he's a talker. The menacing, the different personality they've established with Cowboy versus how Smiley operated in last season. I think that might get his girlfriend, the chick with the headband, the one who, I think it's the one that was with Cowboy when they
Oh, his
got
little girlfriend with the
Kelly
purse.
and Brian.
Yeah.
The headband lady.
Hang on,
Yeah.
find her. Where'd that chick go?
Not the girl with the bob haircut who released the livestock, but yeah.
I think she grabbed Tien Chen in the barn.
Yeah, she
Okay.
did. Here she
One
is.
of the
Here she
monsters
is.
that
Yeah.
grabbed Tien.
Yep.
There she is. She's the one that shifts, like morphs. Yeah. Okay, here. She's like over. Let's see. Did I get another one with her? Nope. She ends up copping. She's on the leg, I think. She ends up getting on the leg.
Oh,
Because she was morphed at one point during the last episode. It shows her, I thought, when they were fighting with her. I'll have to go back and get it. I'll make sure I get her into the next one. Like, what, is this her arm or was that still the nurse? I don't know.
Oh,
Or
and
is
yes,
that the nurse? Who is that one? Who is this one?
Saw Scarlet, when Scarlet peeped that when the monsters were scratching at Tien, that their veins kind of started to, come like more predominant?
Yeah,
Like
they were
almost
just a little
sucking
little
something
weird.
from her.
So I'm gonna try to get as close as I can. Typically, the veins popping out is not abnormal. We've seen similar blue veins pop out on them before, but it's this coloration of red that changes when she scratches in, and almost as if, I don't know if they're putting a poison in or sucking blood out, like sort of like a draining or feeding. But there was like this distinct red vein from the blue veins, and right here is where you can really see it. Sort of in the color change as it's
Okay.
and like I said, I can't tell if that's going out or coming in.
So that's something they deliberately put in After Effects or whatever as a special effect. So it couldn't be. That's almost like how they put the burn makeup on the Civil War soldier. The guy had a fraction of a second of screen time, really, but they took the time to put burn prosthetics and makeup on. I think that if this is right, like you're pointing out, that has to be deliberate. They're not just going to do this if it's meaningless, right?
I mean, that's what I was wondering, because I've peeped the veins before, right? We see them on the kids, we see them on the monsters. I even think at one point I thought I saw them on the ghoulish chick that's haunting Elgin in season 2 when she pushes him down on her hands. So that blue sort of prominent veinage has been sort of seen in a couple things in here, but that red variation was interesting.
What about you, JH? You think they're actually sucking something out of her as they're attacking her?
You know what? You got me here. I didn't pay attention to that. I would just think that would be special effects upon first glance, but you got something there.
Right? They could be sucking maybe on the fear or, the blood itself. And that's kind of what we know, that when Christy did the autopsy, we saw that they were somewhat dry inside. What if this kind of revitalizes them for a brief moment? You think that's a possibility?
It's possible.
Because see, I'm wondering, because when they're down in the caves and Jade's down there and he sees the roots and the symbol, those roots have this particular, and I know it's like the special effects that they put in there, but they just had those roots in particular have a color to them, and it's this reddish color. And I was trying to figure out like if it's part of how things are fed into the world. So like the monsters are feeding when they're in the caves, the roots maybe feed off of them, and that may be how things is maybe powered in this place. I don't know.
This is also the millionth instance of somebody being killed without their face being ripped off, like Donna relayed in her story of her sister. I don't know how many times people have to die. And this one, there was no time pressure for the monsters. They were able to take their time on Tien Chen, and yet didn't touch her face whatsoever. So that still for me makes Donna's story. She's the only one who relayed a story of the monsters ripping somebody's face off, and we have not yet seen, out of all the deaths, fast ones, slow ones, whatever, the ones they had all night to work on.
The face always seems to be intact.
Yep. Even Tom, the bartender, all of them.
The little girl and her mom in the pilot.
Lauren and Megan. Yep. Nobody.
Everybody's faces were left intact.
Yep.
Did they open their chest?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, poor Tin
this
Tin.
picture makes me so sad. But at least Shoegate has been solved. You know, the infamous whose shoes are those? Whose
So
shoes are
gnarly.
those?
It's a male foot.
They took the flesh down to the bone. Boy, the way they got the way they made that with the flesh down to the bone and the lower shin on the right side. Eesh, such a cool effect. I mean, gross, disgusting, tragic, sad in every way, all that. But as far as special effects, man, yeesh, they didn't hold back.
No, they didn't. They didn't at all. And they mutilated her. They absolutely ripped her to shreds. But I really would have loved to see what they did on the inside. If you're going to show us anything, show us what they're doing with ripping their torsos open like that.
Should have seen this.
Right? Like, are they taking the body part? Are they taking the heart? What are they eating it, taking it with them? Like, what are they doing? What do you think they're doing with their insides, JH? Like, you think they're doing something with them after, or you think they eat them?
Either that or harvesting.
True. They could be harvesting for someone. That could be what maybe is keeping the dark entity. Because even like with Lost, like, right, we have the island and the light gave life. What if this place being dark, feeds off the soul compared to giving it life?
Yeah, I think there's some type of blood sacrifice going on.
Right?
Perhaps.
I know, but speaking of which, I know everybody, you were saying it a little bit before about Donna, her being sus with her story about her sister. But is anybody going to bring up the fact about Clara in the diner? How she just pops up again, putting down her little flowers. I think she's sus. What about you guys? Do you guys think that Clara could possibly be a mole or something working for one of the sides, since she always conveniently pops up?
I don't know, man. I know this is going to be mean, but it does not look like Clara's missing any meals. I don't know if the famine is hitting her yet.
I know.
But it's weird. That's the thing. She is the ultimate extra background character, but she has gotten so much screen time just coincidentally.
Yep.
So I think it's I think her existence is sus at this point. she's around way too much. She pops up at a timely moment. Even if she's just like in this scene, she's just going to dart out of the thing immediately. It might have been a sweet and touching moment. She's just going to leave a tiny wildflower, one of the few left of the season there. But yeah, a little bouquet. And it might have been something sweet, but just her popping up so many times, never really doing anything consequential. She she got blasted in the face with some broken glass, so she's permanently around her, around the scenes and stuff,
right? She popped up when Jade needed his bike. She was the one on the roof who pointed out the storm. She was in the background when Tilly pointed out the fact that Fatima was pregnant. She's the one who told Jade where Victor was. She's the one who told Victor that Jade has had his violin. Like, she just pops up in so many instances, but then in big moments, right? Like big moments, we don't see her.
But the Mother of Dragons says everyone at Colony House is sus. Ooh, there you go. Everybody, including Donna.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just these little fractions, these little 2-second bits of screen time, keeping her in the story, keeping her in the zeitgeist. Because we haven't even seen Dale yet this year.
I know, but I have heard that Dale is actually filming something else, so we might not see him pop up for those reasons, because he is filming either, I think it was another show that he started, but he might not be showing up because of that fact, but I don't take my word for it. But what, JH, you think she could be the mole?
I kind of had my eye on her from season 1 and 2, but I don't think so. I think she's just comic relief.
Oh, okay.
You think she's just comic relief? It could be, but it's like I love how people are so quick to like say Donna. Wouldn't a mole kind of like sit in the
Maybe that's
background?
what they want us to believe.
Right? Like, wouldn't a mole kind of sit in the background? You wouldn't really know they're there, but they're there. And I think she just fits that so well.
Well, the show loves to do that, right? We got Tilly that they like to throw in to look sus. We got Donna every now and again likes to pop up in the right places. I mean, this chick, they like to do that too. So I'm not sure, because I still don't know if there's a mole. Other than, of course,
Is there a
Ravener.
mole? I'm thinking this is a pro.
Yeah, I'm thinking, honestly, it kind of dawned on me. I think Clara, I almost want to call her a 47 because we've seen the 4s and 7s pop up. I don't think there's any significance to them. Everybody wants to apply 31 flavors of significance to it. We're going to see it again and again, and it's going to pop up again and again. And there's going to be, Tilly with 4 kids and 7 grandkids. We're going to see the 4s and 7s pop up. It's going to be a almost like a meme, like a running joke or a through thread throughout the episodes. But I would not be one bit surprised if it doesn't have any deeper significance. It's just going to be a thing, a from thing. And I think that's what Clara might be. She might just be a through thread, a person that pops up here and there. With maybe they literally will not go anywhere with her, have no significance, no major character development or triumphant action or catastrophic act. I mean, she may live. She may be one of the few people that walk out the door at the very end. But she'll just get 2 seconds here, 3 seconds there, a word or two just below union scale as far as dialogue or whatever.
Gotta keep our eye on her. No pun intended. Gotta watch her.
Golden Child says, but if there's a mole, couldn't they always just let the monsters in the house whenever? Well, technically, Sarah did that.
Mm-hmm.
Is she a mole? No, I know. We all know she had voices in her head.
Well, I had the theory that they had kind of like tapped in. Part of the torture of the symbol was getting access to Christopher's brain. Not that he did anything, not that he caused the massacre, but that's why Miranda was so insistent that Victor hide where Christopher didn't know. Maybe they had access to Christopher's brain, so he knew all the hiding places. They knew what he knew, kind of almost like he was still a citizen of the town or a resident of the town, but he was linked into the hive mind of the monsters, and so they could access that. Maybe there's another person that's like that has kept it quiet that we don't know about, who the monsters have access to every single thing that's going on. It might be a colony house person, it might be a townsperson. They knew it might have been that would have made Tom super sus because he was one of the few that knew Tabitha was digging, but who could it be?
Yeah.
See what else we got. Diane Sherman says, honestly, I don't think anyone is a mole. Absolutely. And let's see, Crazy Mad, it says it's a red herring. Wild Majorum says 47 flavors of significance. And yes, she's also saying Odin equals Clara. It's true. And I mean, yes, she definitely gave off a lot of those Odin vibes. I know that was a very heavy theory, that especially with trying to relate the characters to some of the Norse gods. She definitely fits some of that criteria, but I still think she's just happened to be a lot of this stuff. I'm trying to figure out how much of it is just happenstance. Like they put a character there. They needed to fill a role. They just happen to look suspicious because we're looking for somebody suspicious.
True. Very true.
And I don't know. I mean, for all I know, every single one of them suspicious, and then they're gonna come out and say like half this town was in on it. I have no idea.
They're all suspects. They're all suspects at the end of the day. But now, so Ravener, what was your takeaway when you saw Fatima eating the spoiled food?
I mean, probably I'm very literal, very accepting of just what we're being shown. So I didn't go a whole lot deeper into it, but it was like, oh shit, she's eating something rotten. So whatever, and 100%, just like probably every single person in the chat as well, went right to, oh my God, the baby is craving this rotted, decayed thing. This decayed stuff is nourishment for it, and wholesome food is rejected for it. Very, very much on the nose. I know last night Jeremy mentioned like maybe that's why everything rotted. Maybe that's
Yep.
why the rotted stuff existed as sustenance. The town is providing sustenance for this thing. I immediately went, though, that is so wild and such a stretch. Now, that's the other thing. The show has made kind of like I said, it'll go directly to the plot point that it needs. It is kind of a contrived situation that, okay, the food rots, that's great, and that's what the demon baby requires for nourishment. But that really presupposes that there was going to be a situation where they were going to gather up all this rotted food and keep it in one place, and Fatima was going to be able to get a hold of it secretly, privately, because right now only the viewers and Fatima know about this. This is a huge secret, and there's no way that she's going to be able to explain this publicly. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't really want real food. I want this rotted stuff. I thought it was weird that Nikki said that they're going to try to compost this stuff, because if you have something like a blight,
Yeah.
you're not going to try to put it in the soil. That's the
Yeah.
worst thing you can do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought the same exact thing when she said that. I was like, that's not going to help anything.
Yeah, but I think maybe they just didn't know.
It's just going to spread it even more. It's going to go to your new crop from just contaminating the soil like again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like something that was overripe and is decaying naturally. It's like a fungus or a bacteria or something that's going to poison the whole ground.
It's not natural, like naturally decomposing.
Yeah.
So why you wouldn't want to add that back into the ground. But what about you, JH? What do you think about Fatima eating the rotten food?
Demon baby confirmed. she is walking pestilence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think she's the reason the crops are dying. But I did watch Teflon's latest video.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to think she's turning into a monster.
Mm.
And we did get that mirror that Jasmine was looking into. We got the same shot.
Interesting.
She was looking at the same mirror.
What about the baby? Like, will the baby turn into an Ankui kid then, you think?
Mm.
Possibly. If we, for those of you on the whatever figure Elgin is seeing is Fatima. If you're on that train, we did see water coming from her hands, and the children are wet, so possibly.
Okay, here's a question. What do you think there is even a tiny possibility that they're just going to red herring this whole thing and like kind of trick us? Because people were talking about pica, where you eat stuff like starch or paper or non-food things.
I really think that's people trying to cope and don't want to see harm come to Fatima. We're getting a demon baby.
Or deny the supernatural aspect. They just want to apply it to that. I mean, that's a classic thing. We've seen it. Well, Dana Scarlett, you've seen it so many times.
I want that demon baby.
Yeah. Like, there's a few times when things cannot be explained, but a lot of shows, I mean, these episodic shows or whatever, procedurals, go to that where something looks supernatural on the surface, and then we of course find, like House, the show House, they would always find some obscure tropical disease or something or heavy metal poisoning or something that specifically matched these bizarre symptoms or whatever. This one, I'm playing devil's advocate, but I absolutely believe that there is supernatural. I absolutely believe this rotted stuff is sustenance for this wildly abnormal baby, abnormal in some way or another. Demon, monster, and Kui kid, you name it, take your pick. But I always just leave open that possibility. And I know, just for the edification of the chat, somebody mentioned, maybe it was pica. And it is, it's a straight up eating disorder. We've seen people eat cornstarch and just other non-food things. I think they even made like reality shows about it. Just so it's so strange, but it would be super cheap. It would be a super cheap cop out, I think, if they did say, "Oh, whoopsie, no, it wasn't actually this demon baby. It's just
It's an abnormal place, and this is an abnormal pregnancy that's not even supposed to happen.
True. And we never did get an answer as to why, because she mentioned I can't have, I was told I can never have kids. We didn't, and that's right before Donna started flipping out about, miracles and, cackling or whatever. We never did get, she sat down and said, look, and there's a few instances, multiple instances throughout the show where people will start a thread or like bring up a topic and then just never follow through on it, and the person they're talking to never follows through with a follow-up question. Fatima, how do you know you can't have kids? Did you have a hysterectomy? Did you have endometriosis? Are you certain that you cannot have kids? Were you just where was it absolute that you could not have kids, or just told, how did we know this? How we've taken it. And the thing is, this is a position we are in as viewers, is we have to accept it. We have to accept what we're told by the characters, even when their information that they're providing is wildly incomplete. And that's why it's so fun to theory craft, because our wild minds start filling in those gaps. But this is the kind of stuff we need to know.
Yes, because it makes a big difference, doesn't it? Like whether she was just fully missing, like hysterectomy type things, had nothing there, because then did they just form again for her to be able to have the baby? Was she just barren in some sense and couldn't make a baby because she didn't have the means that way to make the baby? So I think like all that comes into question when we're talking about Fatima. Like how is she even able to carry this child at this point? What about you, Scarlett? What do you think?
I mean, I think the baby's abnormal. She's eating the rotten food. And it could be something. I mean, they could be playing with us. This place likes to play with us. I did think that she was going to have to eat something for this child that was abnormal. I did not expect the crops. I thought she was going to have to eat an organ or something, and that the baby was going to be like a manifestation of the monsters or even one of the entities. But she ate the dead crops. So,
well, they're
she's definitely. I don't know the whole
cow, Scarlett
thing. I don't know.
Might.
I don't know if she's going to turn herself into a monster yet. I'm not fully sold on that. I know some people still think she is a sort of the kimono lady that Elgin sees. I'm not 100% sure on that still. I think that they're two separate storylines, but it's still possible. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with it, but definitely I think the baby is not normal. But let's see, some of you guys were saying some really good stuff in the chat. So let me get to you guys. Bruce Lee says, and welcome, Bruce. Good to see you, buddy. Hadn't seen you in a minute. Hadn't talked to you in a minute. I have to send you a message in Discord, see how you been. He says, I went with the other way. She doesn't want the baby, but knows it will hurt Ellis and Donna and everyone who is happy to have it. So you're saying she's eating it on purpose to maybe get rid of the baby? Ooh, I like it. I mean, it's dark, but it's possible. Definitely possible.
Oh, and I just want to say the movie blog just dropped into the chat. I was in your chat earlier. I'm loving the content. Awesome. Thanks for coming by. He just popped into the chat. And let us know. You're more than welcome to come up and discuss some From with us if you want to join the panel. We'd be happy to have you up here with us. Just let us know. I'll have one of the mods reach out to you.
See what else we got. Nino Nev, I hope I said that right. Could she just not open the door, or was it just locked? I just arrived to the stream. Sorry if you guys spoke on this ahead already. No, actually, we have not fully gone into it. And Ravener, I know, was wanting to go over that a little bit, and I did get the clip of it. So while we're talking about Miss Fatima now, it's no better time than ever.
Yeah. And I'm absolutely not the one who discovered it. I heard about it through just reading through the Discord. Somebody brought up the topic. I guess you guys mentioned that you had spoken, at least touched on the topic with Jeremy last night. But take a look at the clip and let's see what the chat derived from it.
Here we go.
these are any good. They're all gross. Take those to the kitchen. Are those crops?
I could play it again. Y'all want to see it one more time to get a good look at her grabbing the doorknob? Do it one more time. Get a good look.
None of these are any good. They're all gross. Take those to the kitchen.
All right, so she grabs the doorknob, she jiggles it, sounds as if it may or may not be open. The wind blows, she gets a whiff. So was the door locked or was she going for the produce? That is the debate.
Oh, okay. Dulcinea says it was not actually completely closed. See, I thought it was just so suspicious how she stopped short.
I felt like she just got distracted.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know. It's a 50-50 for me because her nose does kind of like, because we don't hear anything. It's not like she heard them speaking at first. We don't really hear them speaking until she kind of walks over a little bit and we overhear them kind of talking.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that she got a whiff of that goodness and was just like, ooh, that smells yummy.
But she turned to her left, right? And the food was off to her right. So unless the
I know.
wind...
Hey, it's definitely up for debate. It's definitely up for debate because the door when you hear the door, it sounds like as if it, I don't know, maybe locked.
Mm-hmm. Like the latch worked, but the handle latch worked, but there was a deadbolt on it.
Yeah, something possibly like that.
Or there's a talisman stopping your demonic self from entering.
From walking in, possibly.
For a quick second, I thought she was going to have a vision. I thought she was going to see something for a quick second. Like that stop. Like I honestly thought maybe she was going to see something or have one of the visions or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting her to go over to the rotten food.
Debbie says she smells that temptation. I know Bitey was saying, I believe she was distracted by the smell of something rotting nearby.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm stretching very far to say, because we already know people go in and out all day and the houses don't seem to be, or at least we don't know that the houses are talisman protected. It's not till sundown when everybody's locked up and the doors are closed. We saw the touch. We saw the touch with Sarah in the diner. We saw the touch with Lauren and Megan. We saw the touch we saw the touch with Fatima and Ellis in the foyer. There's always the touch that activates the protection, the perimeter protection of the house. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm really stretching, even if the talisman is hanging up, that she wouldn't be able to go through. But again, we haven't seen it happen in the daytime either. The monsters haven't tried approaching in the daytime.
No,
pretty crazy.
Well, we also saw them cut scene to Donna butchering that cow. I wouldn't be shocked if Fatima maybe goes after that raw cow too, you think?
Well, see, that's what I initially thought. She was going to want some kind of flesh, organs, blood, but I think it's about the rotting because her wound, in a sense, was not, I don't want to say it was dead, but it was not fertile, in a sense. So it's sort of like death. And then this timing of winter during her pregnancy, winter being sort of seen as like time of death, bringing forth spring for renewal. So baby might be born right in spring, sort of like, when the baby comes back, everything goes back to normal. Like, yay, we can actually get our powers back and everything's fine. So I don't know. I think it's the death part.
But the idea they killed all of it. They killed. They said half of the food was killed in the storm, was destroyed by the storm, and that's why Donna was rounding up Ellis to go out and save what remained before she said before it froze over. They killed all of it. The entity or the powers that be, the town, you name it, killed everything, just to provide sustenance for. Presumably it's like there's a good it's almost like it is a game where they're taking turns. The good guys make a move, the bad guys make a move. It's like they're fighting over the control of the jukebox. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's useful information that comes out of the jukebox, like when Boyd needed a sign about the boat, if I had a boat. And then sometimes you get rubbing the salt in the wounds on Kenny playing cool in the gang. There's two sides, and they're each taking turns. They're making a move. I'll make a move here. I'll make a move there. I'm gonna kill. I'll provide some food. Oh no, I'm gonna kill everything that remains. Unless there's also the supposition that the death of Tien Chen, like the finding of the veggies by Kenny and Jim, was a reward for the death of Tien Chen. Do you think that's going to, because right now we see one person dies, one person arrives. Do you think they're going to skip another arrival by, like, maybe the finding of more food takes the place of, you get to pick. You get to either have additional food for the survivors get to have additional food, or we can add one more person, like like a Uno card or something. Pick
That
three.
would be interesting.
Pick five.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the food was sort of because similar to what you're saying. I guess pretty much the same. Like the dead crops were for Fatima. They still need food for the town. So when they went out searching, Jim and Kenny, they didn't seemingly go the right direction, or rather, the woods made it to where they would find this food, so the town would still survive, but yet Fatima would have the most bounty for the baby close at hand. But I don't know. It's interesting though.
It is. And I just want to say hi to Tony. He just also popped up in the chat. Welcome, Tony. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's awesome to see you. Your interview last night was really good. I loved to see that interview. That was a lot of fun to watch.
And Tony says she can't get on because she's a monster. The talisman won't let her in, and that is definitely a possibility. But will the talisman not let her in permanently, or is it as long as someone opens the door for her? Like how do those rules work? Because I'm assuming she gets back in the house.
Yeah, Nikki went past her, but yeah, that's the thing. They kind of left it open because they did cut away from her while she was still chowing down. So they didn't resolve. Go ahead.
Bitey said the talisman was in the clinic when she walked in.
Yes, it was. It was
right?
hanging up. Yes.
Okay.
And Wild Majorum says, I think the baby's a manifestation of Ellis' fears, like Nathan's was with the cicadas. Ooh,
okay.
I like it.
That's awesome. That's a good one. That's a goodie. But I don't know, like there's so much going on in this episode. Like in these first two episodes, we can say that we have seen a lot from the trailers. So there's only a little bit left from the trailers that we haven't seen. So does that kind of excite you that we still have so many more episodes and all we saw from the trailer didn't really reveal too much to us with so much left to go? What about you, JH? Like, do you think that there's more that they're going to show us since they're showing us so much in these trailers already?
I was focused on Teflon's comment. He said Ellis opened the door, but she still wouldn't be able to enter, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing Ellis.
I still need to see a little bit more. I think it's going to be either
opened
or.
it, then maybe she could walk in, because the rules of talisman, right? If the monsters, you have to open the door to let them in. So if Ellis opened the door first, then so far the rule would stand that we're still in limbo with it. She's still possibly a monster.
I am down with that theory. I just need to see more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say it definitely is a possibility. That's why I was trying to figure out how did she get back in the house, because did Nikki open it for her and then that's how she got in? Because I was like, hey, she can't just go, like, did she go knocking on the door and somebody's just like, oh, I'm sorry, it was jammed. I don't know. That's just weird. But we will find out.
What was the question again, though?
Dana, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, we got so into that I completely forgot what I asked.
Yeah, this is another great one though. That we're left with a bunch of questions, but we're 100% going to get it resolved at some point in next episode. So it's a small.
Oh,
question.
my question was about the trailers.
You were asking about the trailer.
Yes, the trailers. Since we're basically all that's left from the trailers right now is the ambulance.
Yeah, the
that's
ambulance
really
and the
car
crash.
crash with Henry and Tabitha. So knowing that we have 8 episodes left, are you excited that we have all this that we haven't seen?
Yes.
Do you think they're going to drop another trailer for us at some point? I'm thinking it's going to be at New York Comic Con, because there's a weird 10-day gap between 2 of the episodes. and it is the weekend of New York Comic Con. And I
Hmm.
know they are announced for New York Comic Con, so I wonder if we're going to get a new trailer.
I don't
at
want
that
another
point.
trailer.
I don't think they need one,
Let's
right?
just leave it where it is. Now, I don't mind the trailers we get before the next episode. But
Yeah.
we don't need another big trailer.
I'm kind of feel like they gave us a lot.
Yes.
And even like you said, I know some of like the photos for the next episode along with the trailer have dropped. So there's even in that, I mean, they kind of show, I think, what was it? Robert was saying they show Dale in some of those. So yeah, they're giving us quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised with how they're trying, like just with the amount of information they have already given so freely. But I kind of hope they don't, because I want to know. I want to see more as opposed to knowing before I see it. But then again, I mean, spoilers are fun sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it because I do love spoilers sometimes. But on a show like this where I'm really trying to dissect stuff, getting that stuff out of context sometimes just completely messes up what I'm thinking. And I'm like, dang it, no.
No, I know. I know you don't like spoilers, Ravener. I know you avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, I've kind of like sadly I've kind of stopped watching from content just because I don't know like who's seen, because I don't know a lot of how much access these people have. I know Jeremy was offered the episodes early. I know some people got 4, some people got maybe 6. What I've heard, I don't know if they've seen them and then they still start making videos about like prediction videos, like, well, you already know what happened, you can't predict. Well, will Sarah have something yeah, you fucking know what happened. You've seen it happen. Will Jim and Kenny find food out in the wherever they went? Yes, obviously. So I avoid it completely. I I was joking around about real enigmas. I was like, I'll watch his show because I know none of that stuff is going to come true, but I know there's no possibility of it being a spoiler. But the thing is, though, I love that, man. I love that people go on with that, and then as we see more things being revealed by the show, like that we can really lean on, be established, things that we can trust. There's still stuff that might be sus that they're showing us in the show, or stuff that might be partially true or incomplete facts, but people are able to adjust their theories. Or sometimes I was saying on a previous show, now we can cut away the dead weight. We can cut away the things that we know for a fact are not true, and start focusing our efforts and brain power and calories, burn those calories in the right direction, predicting what is going to happen. But I am super stoked, and I am so glad that I was saying yesterday, they got a lot of mileage out of these first 2 episodes in terms of the trailer, the preseason trailer. You guys were exactly right. The ambulance scene will be something that they haven't gotten to yet. One of the showrunners or writer, I remember which person it was, but said we're going to lose a few of our beloved characters. So we've lost one, at least another one probably on the ambulance scene that evening, because again, the writers, we've seen you can go 96 days if you follow the rules, bunker up every night, hide with the talismans. You can live 96 days without a death. What the writers have to do is contrive these situations that bring the residents of the town and the monsters into contact with each other. We got it with the Colony House Massacre. Awesome. Great series of circumstances. Kevin being a simp, opening the window for Jasmine. That was awesome. Then this one, the livestock. They contrived another situation where the residents of the town willingly, they have to give up their protection, which we know at this point is 100% reliable unless somebody proactively negates or forfeits their protection. So they did great with the livestock, and I can't wait. I mean, obviously the ambulance arriving at dark or after dark is another contrivance, and I don't say contrivance in a negative way at all. It's just something the writers have to write to bring the antagonist and the protagonist into contact with each other to make a great story. So yes, we're going to have the ambulance scene, and I'm hoping we'll have at least another one. Maybe they'll figure out another one. But like, will somebody accidentally open the door? Will, what are they going to come up with that's going to do that, to bring these people in contact with each other? And they've done it in a good way. I really enjoy the way they're telling the story. So
I do too. What about you, JH? For or against spoilers?
Against. I would never knowingly go into a spoiler.
But when you're doing like your content and your theories, do you like knowing more, or do you like going on an episode to episode base?
Yeah, I would prefer to go into it episode by episode. Now, if I get a little something, of course, I may or may not talk about it. It just depends. Like I guess the leaked trailer that came out before, if you want to call it a leak. I looked at it, I really didn't see anything that gave the story away or anything like that, so I didn't mind doing that. So
I know Jeremy said he was bummed because somebody left a comment in one of his videos that spoiled something that he thought was really, really big.
Yes, and something like that.
He hates that he knows it now, because he's like, he doesn't know whether to, go based on it or because it just sucks. He hates spoilers.
Now, something like that. No. It would have to be something that obviously came from MGM.
Yep. So it's very hard when you're dealing with spoilers, because there are some people out there who do get a lot of the episodes very early, and it's hard to then trust their theory videos, because it's hard to ignore that. Like, as much as you want to just forget what you know, it's very hard to do. So you can't help but change your theories and how you look at things sometimes because of the information you know ahead of time. So I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people in the chat are agreeing with that. There's a lot of folks who are saying they are not into spoilers. We had Bitey. Let's see, I know. Let me scroll back up to you guys. There was a lot of you guys saying no spoilers. They ruin everything. Yes. Not agreed with them. But I also saw, let's see, Bitey said something I thought was interesting. In Scottish lore, children would leave cabbage leaves for fairies to bring them new siblings. Yes, I love it. Tighten the fairy lore. You guys are really killing it on the fae theories out there. Percy, Bitey, all you guys. So we get the cabbage leaves. So is it another semblance of the fae realm? Who knows? Let's see what else we got. Angela E says, in the photo of Tyan Chen that was at her altar, she's wearing the same blue dress that found in the storage area, but the photo looked like it was taken before she arrived in From Land. Yes, actually, I did notice that.
Yeah,
and I thought maybe it was
sure.
just maybe they. I thought maybe they used the camera, like they still had film.
I wasn't sure about that myself.
Oh, now I keep thinking what it's
Did
called.
you guys notice that the picture of at Tian Chen's funeral was of the dress that Sarah brought for her? Do you think that means something, or just a continuity error?
I don't know. I mean, unless they had a Polaroid with them where it would have literally been Tian Chen and Sarah taking those pictures, it would have had to have been Sarah having taken that picture, right?
And I thought maybe it was the Polaroid. Like maybe they still had some film or something.
Yeah. What is that background? We don't know, huh? The brickwork.
Like a brick wall.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go back to when she gets dressed. Compare it. Too many screenshots. Okay, let's see. Where was it? Where was that? That was after this. Oh no. Skip too far. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it could definitely be the same one. I don't know if that's even anywhere. The picture, but yeah, the background makes me not think of anything from per se.
Oh, Michelle says the dress is whiter than the one Sarah brought in. Could be, but it's very similar. It's very similar. And they did that before with us with the kimono lady and the shirt that Fatima was wearing. So they like to do stuff like that. They like to give you those little throw-offs that make you think it's possibly something else. Because I think that it was the shirt that Fatima was wearing that really got people more so thinking Kimono Lady was her than her somewhat resembling her. People were stuck on that shirt for a while. Like that kind of looks like Fatima. But speaking of that, would you guys think it might be possible that Kimono Woman could actually be Elgin's mom? Elgin talks a lot about his grandmother and the things he does with his grandmother, but he never mentions his mom. Do you think that possibly Kimono Woman could be attached to him in that way and was able to get Elgin out as a baby before the entity or whatever's going to happen to the baby happened, like they're trying to do with Fatima? JH, what do you think?
Didn't. That never really crossed my mind. I don't know. It just feels like a bad omen.
Could be, but she's coming to Elgin, and I still feel like there's some connection there between the two of them. What about you, Ravener? You think that's a possibility that we might be looking at it a little wrong, and that she could possibly be related to Elgin in some way?
I'll just flat out say no.
Okay.
0%. I know we all did. We all went down the road with matching, and I think I even put it in chat tonight. We all went down the road with linking Fatima with this creature because she was the only one we had seen in a kimono prior to this. At this point, I think 100% that she's an entirely different entity, not related to Fatima in any kind of way, even tangentially. She's an entirely different spirit. I know, Scarlett, you had explored like a Japanese spirit of one kind or another. The recurring theme in a lot of different mythologies, there even like banshees, there's washerwoman, like something involving water, something involving a woman. That being repeats itself in different mythologies all over the world. So it is a recurrent theme. I did see something awesome, and I can't remember. I want to give credit to whoever came up with it, but they indicated that maybe she was. Maybe I would, of all the things that might be actually beneficial, I think this one might actually, even though she looks scary and has a horrifying vision, she might be beneficial. And somebody indicated that she like ducked Elgin's head to keep him from hearing the music box, which. It was the ducking his head in the water.
Yes.
It was scary. It was a scary instance, but we do know that there are times to be like with a fandom that's suspicious of every like element that we're ever shown on any scene. This one is one where, when we're shown something, this one might be not exactly what it seems. She might have been doing something beneficial. And we, again, all this will be proved out in later episodes when we get a little more info, a little more data, another experience, so we could put 2 and 2 together. Right now, we just have 2. We don't have the other 2. She seems like she might be something beneficial to him, or trying to convey some message or something. Yes. I didn't get any idea that she was related to him, or in any kind of like actually family kind of way. Actually, it's strange though, because right now Elgin was the only one who had visions of Fromville before arriving in Fromville, prior to what we heard about Miranda, right? Miranda was being tortured by visions, or not tortured, but like that's when she did the paintings. She was still in the outside world, unaware of Fromville, essentially. Everybody else started, like Sarah started getting her visions. Everybody else, other than Elgin and Miranda, are people who started getting their visions. Jade, Christopher, they're people that have got their visions after arriving in Fromville. So we've only got 2 people that have seen anything prior to arriving in Fromville, even dreams or premonitions. It seems like Miranda's was really well developed, and it might have been the LSD that facilitated that. But so I'm really leaning. I kind of felt like Elgin was a lump. I thought he wasn't much of a good character, but I think he might be one of those guys that's going to be way major, because I think he might be the closest thing we got to a chosen one in here, despite, you know, all the stuff with Victor, all the stuff with Ethan, all these other people. I think Elgin might have his finger on the pulse of something. So I don't know. Another long answer.
More than one chosen, though, right? Because the way they phrased it, I'm thinking that there's more than one chosen. And I hate to say it, Dana, I'm going to step on your Lost. Same
Go
way,
ahead, baby.
more
Go ahead.
than one chosen at Lost, right? Essentially, Jacob picked a handful of chosen that he brought there.
Candidates, correct. And both him and his brothers, one of them was chosen in a sense too, if you want to look at it like that. Between him and the man in black.
Lost, but at least that concept of there's possibly more than one. And then I like how Dana said this. Essentially, if I'm thinking more than one chosen on each side, so you got the two sides, and I'm just curious because I really think that Jade is more than Tabitha.
Candidates.
What was that, JH?
I said those were candidates.
Yep.
There was still one chosen one that had to do the ceremony.
But just the way she said, like, they were kind of like chosen to be brought there, kind of how he chose all of them to be there. So I don't know. I just thought maybe there was more than one, and they're sort of getting vetted to see who can win. But I don't know. Who knows?
Right. That's what I love about this show. I love, like Ravener said, the theory crafting that you can do, the rabbit holes you can go down, you have to research and figure things out and do stuff. And I love that we're a community with so many creators that have different ideas, and just being able to come to someplace and talk about them, I think is really cool. So I appreciate anybody who, you know, comes on and talks with us and just puts their stuff out there. We love talking from.
We got a good question here, Dana, from Dark Elf. Who planted the veggies by the water at the cannibal village, as some of us call it? And yes, that is a very good question. Where did those crops come from?
Yes, that's my hubby. I was talking to him before.
Yes, I know. I just figured.
Yes, I was trying to explain to him, but he doesn't want to listen to me.
Well, I mean, anybody could have planted them. I just thought it was a really good question. I mean, because honestly, who planted those?
Yeah. Do you think it's just something like something the writers wrote in there for plot convenience? Because it is super weird that, like, it'll be all a bunch of cabbages, all a bunch of carrots, all a bunch of whatever, beets or potatoes or whatever it is, all right in a row. We know that gardens are planted with like kind of things, and we know that natural garden, in nature, things aren't going to, you're not going to have purple cabbage and then green cabbage and then everything all in just convenient clusters of whatever it is, 8 feet by 8 feet or however it goes. But do you think that's just something that they provided in the show to move the plot along without really putting a whole lot of effort into it?
It looks more planted than it does wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks like somebody actually took the time out, did the rows, planted stuff, did stuff. What if this is another community's stash, and that's who was walking around the cabin, checking out who Jim and, that's who they were? Do you think that this could be just something somebody else planted because maybe they had something where they are and their soil is also rotten?
Yeah, they never addressed those footsteps again, at least in this episode. It's like, forget about it. Never mind.
Right?
Yeah.
I just I don't know. It's so like you said, is it a balance thing? We've kind of figured out that when somebody dies, somebody comes in. We have that theory going around because one area of planted food rotted, this sprung up. Is this place about balance? When one goes, they balance it somewhere else. Do you think that it could be the possibility that the evil side rotted one set of vegetables for Fatima's baby? Could the good side have grown these vegetables for, the people to survive?
Yeah, and I think they deliberately didn't explore that because, I mean, we want those answers. We're asking those questions. We would be okay with those answers. But as far as progressing the plot, and because this isn't what this scene is about. This is necessary. They get a quick minute of they don't even hardly show them harvesting anything. They show them walking back into town with their backpacks jam packed. And there's a couple instances of that in this episode. They needed to get through this scene, show enough information, and move on to the real scene, which was the triumphant arrival in town, and then Kenny finding out about Tianjin. The other example, I'll just bring it up, and I wish I could say real quick, but the handcuff key in Boyd's pocket. Now, if you want to look 10 layers deep, you could say, oh my God, they were taunting him. They put his escape right there, da da da. Realistically, the key wasn't germane to the plot at that point. When Jade discovered Boyd tied up to the pole or cuffed to the pole, the key may as well have been in his pocket, because the plot wouldn't have been served, the story wouldn't have been served, like if the monsters threw it in a haystack, or if the monsters took it with them, or it would have been gross if they put the key inside of Tianjin. All those things would have been gross, and they would have been something. But that wasn't the point of that scene. The scene was to get him loose so Harold could go and embrace Tianjin and have that scene. That was the point of that whole barn scene. So they could do it a million ways. And, we can theorycraft, we can fanfic and write all these elaborate scenarios. But realistically, that's what I love about these episodes is the showrunners and the writers and the cinematographers, all these guys are cutting the fat, cutting stuff that doesn't necessarily serve the plot, move it forward. And that's why it feels like a lot's happening, or we're getting a lot, because they're cutting these unnecessary, and it's not anything dramatic. They're cutting 5 seconds. They could have had like, oh no, the key's over there. Oh no, but it's not germane to the plot. It's not moving the things forward. It's not getting us to the punchy parts. And that's what's so cool about it. And that's just my take on this. I always look at the meta, like how these things are put together story wise. And, of course, I would love for them to explain everything at length, and give us elaborate, explanations for each thing that they're showing us. But story wise, man, but looking, we can do that while we're talking about it after the show. But my God, during the episode, it's like bang, 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 moving right forward. Everybody. And again, they've got friggin' 20 characters that they've got to address and push forward in the plot.
There's a lot going on. I mean, they've definitely got how many storylines going on right now? Because me and Dana were trying to go over the episode just to think how to break it down. And there's quite a few little avenues of how you want to really look at it. So there's quite a bit. And I like Robert Sanders put up in the chat, I imagine the Komodo ghoul is representative of the fairy in Ethan's Lake of Tears saga, and the new lake is the literal Lake of Tears. Yes, I do believe this is the Lake of Tears.
Oh, that is a good question. Do you think that's the Lake of Tears, JH?
Yes.
Because I know we were talking about it last night on Jeremy's, I asked, I was like, this is a new lake, right? Like, this is not the Brundles. I'm like, okay.
Yep, that's a new lake.
So it's the mysterious Lake of Tears, and I do like that it is connected possibly to the Komodo ghoul because she does have the water dripping.
Yep,
she's definitely something happened here. This could be another variation of the town or something. Who knows? So yeah, I can't wait to see how she connects to all this, because this could have been what Elgin saw, right, with that lady's trying to remember, and this is all. It still could be connected to Fatima's baby. I don't know, who knows? Like, it's just the possibilities are just awesome.
I do. So final question before we open it to just like a broad discussion, and we can discuss whatever you guys want in the chat, whatever you guys feel like bringing up on panel. But do you have any predictions for episode 3? There's something you think we're going to get or something you want to see in episode 3. What would it be? We'll start with you, JH.
In episode 3, I would like them to capture the cowboy. It's going to be an interesting conversation. There's going to be a lot of trolling. I don't think he's just going to like catch the monster and have his way. It's going to be some shit talking.
No, it's going to take a little bit to get right.
Come outside. like when he talked to Fatima at the post office, something like that.
Do you think it'll be successful? Do you think they actually? I know they'll plan. You think they will?
I don't think so.
They won't get any of them. Any other monsters?
I mean, I think they'll get one, but getting anything out of them as far as like information, because he said we need more information. I don't think he's going to get anything out of them.
Yeah, they don't really know what to use against the monsters, right? To wedge against them. I mean, they might threaten them with sunlight, but right now there's no holy water, there's no silver bullet, there's no crucifix, there's nothing that they can use to torture them or to, essentially drag out information. Right? They'll only say what they want to say, or maybe they're not even.
Would you believe
brought
it?
up in the chat, and
would
I know
you believe it? Whatever the monster said, would you even believe it?
Well, that's it.
I think there might be a way, and I know some guys were bringing it up in Jeremy's chat last night, and I like the idea of if you can contain the monster long enough and trap it till daylight and see what happens.
Yeah, because we don't know that they're, because I've made this point a zillion times, but raccoons and possums are nocturnal, but they don't burn up in daylight. They just prefer the dark. The monsters might be that they may not burst into thing. And the thing is, whatever when you're trying to interrogate somebody, or for like a creature like that, they have to be more afraid of you than they are of their boss. So what are you going to bring to the table that's going to make those monsters more afraid of Boyd and Kenny than they are of maybe the entity that's controlling them?
No, that's interesting. But do you think maybe bring the bile back into play?
I need an answer for this bile. I hope that was not a nothing burger.
I do too. But wouldn't it be interesting now that they have a monster? I know Boyd put some on the bullets, but maybe that wasn't the right way to activate it or get it in their system in a sense. What if, remember the picture we saw down in the basement to what we thought was the monster with the green teeth and the yellow tongue? What if that's like symbolizing pouring the bile down their throat in some sense, or ingesting the bile in a sense? That might actually... You think that maybe we could use the bile?
They already have the bile in them, so...
True.
I'm still
wondering, what do you think the bile could be used for? Like, you're hoping it's not a throwaway. So do you hope that it maybe is a weapon against the monsters, or like a key to something?
Yeah, I'm hoping it can be weaponized some way. I really don't have a clue.
I know. I don't think any of us could have a clue at this point.
I think it's just a nothing burger. We'll see.
I know. It could be. It possibly could be. But what about you guys in the chat? If there's anything you guys would want to see for episode 3, what would it be? And what about you, Ravener? If we could see anything in episode 3, or what you think might be happening in episode 3, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh man, and I didn't even have the benefit for some reason. Like on Amazon, I don't get the upcoming. I don't know if the app has it. The upcoming like scenes or screens.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I have not watched them.
I'm really only going off of what we can guess is going to be the plot moving forward. I'd like to see him sit down. I'd like to see the brainstorming session. I'd like to see Boyd and Kenny and whoever else is going to be involved in it talk about what they're going to try. Jade, yeah. What are they going to try? Have them have an idea and dismiss an idea. I'd like to see the entire thought process, because God knows this will be like one of the few times that we've ever seen people put their heads together and actually talk about the situation they're in. So it'll be damn refreshing to see this happen. But yeah, it's like, what are they going to come up with? How are they going to execute the plan when they have the plan? Are we going to go through the day, and are we going to go into the night to see them attempt it? That was a big question for me. Cowboy would be the obvious target. I agree with JH. I agree with everybody. I think Cowboy is the main man as far as, you know, the monster contingent at this point. But they're not going to take him. They're not going to take him off the board this early. So will it be the girlfriend? Will it be another? Will it be a rando? Will it be the bride or the professor or one of those? You know, will it be a you know, where the thing where you step in it and it grabs your ankle and pulls you up in the air upside down, that kind
No,
of
could
thing.
it be that chick? You know, wasn't Cowboy fond of her slightly, or at
Mhm.
least they partnered up?
It seemed like it, right? But we've never seen them real. I mean, they're always together, but we don't really see them interact. But they
Well, I
don't
don't mean,
really,
you know, like
inter-
his
yeah, his
friend, his
girlfriend, yeah,
buddy, or something. You know, and I don't even think like love interest
his
really, but just
co-pilot.
yeah, like you know, because some of them seem to like partner up when they go
Mhm.
out. So maybe that'll hit him. I don't know. Do they care about each other? And obviously not. They just kind of watch Smiley like have a seizure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Will they even react? Do they care? Uh, we don't know anything about this, and that's something that I'm super hoping that we discover, that they show us a little grain of info. I'm wondering if it's. I always want more info on the talismans and always more info on the monsters, but something about it tells me that if they can't give that info because it might unravel the whole story or it might reveal the whole story. So they might be like part and parcel of the overarching what is Fromville story.
Yep.
So maybe they can't reveal what they are. I love the fact that they're getting more screen time though.
Yes, I'm glad we're seeing more of the monsters. I agree with that. That's definitely making things a little more. It's up in the ante a little bit more.
A little evolution, a little
Yep.
different actions. Milkman. I mean, all of this has been talked about, but like Jasmine was very cognizant of getting the blood from when she ate Kevin, getting the blood off of her collar. Meanwhile, Milkman, slashes the cow and just wipes it right across the front of him, and the blood remained in the next scenes that he was in.
Yeah.
So, and the screaming, that kind of stuff, that triumphant scream, or
Yep.
maybe the frustrated scream of Granny when she couldn't. What exactly is that? Is it a communication? Is it like the hunt is on? Hey, there's
Oh
people
yeah,
outside.
man. Dude,
Yeah.
that I totally gave. I don't know if anybody out there has played the game Dead by Daylight, but when she was chasing them down and searching for them, I was like, man, I'm playing game Dead by Daylight. This is the hunt is on. It felt very like, I don't know, it's a creepy game. If y'all haven't played it, check it out.
And until she did that, because that was that weird scene where Sarah had taken Julie and Ethan behind the bush that was right at the bottom of the porch, but they didn't bolt until the cheerleader came around, and maybe they felt that was a point that they decided to bolt from their hiding place behind the shrub. But it was weird. Just little things, little elements that they put together.
So now maybe since we're going to open up the discussion, maybe we should start pulling up the pictures, the paintings in the basement.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
I'd
those
like to
photos
see.
are out for episode 3.
I know we haven't had a chance to look at them. I know I haven't. I don't know if Scarlett's seen them, but I have not had a chance to look at any of the images.
It looks
But
looks like they're going out into the forest. Kenny and Christy, that part of the trailer.
Oh, where Christy gets her foot snagged in the bear trap?
Yep.
So
Let's see,
maybe
we
that's
do
what
have
we'll
a
get.
question from Will
Sure.
Smalls. Did anyone see in the basement that picture of monster holding a talisman? And yes, let's see. Hopefully I got that one. I try to remember. But yeah, there was a weird one. Oh, there's so many. I hope I got them all. Where was it? Oh,
And the boy in white, that's been in the intro, like in
yes.
the intro music for 2 seasons before we finally see this. So that might mean that, because I always thought maybe that was just scene dressing or it was never going to come into play. Finally, here it is. So all you guys who thought that it was going to eventually pop up are vindicated. You guys were right.
And I think I would say just about all of the images so far that were in that intro have been seen at one time or another. I have to go back and double check that for sure, but I think they have been. I'm trying to see. I know that.
Yeah, well, Scarlett's looking for that. What JH? Any one of these paintings stand out to you? Is there one in particular that you were like, holy shit, or like, what is that?
I would have to see all of them again.
Mhm. I mean, there were so many. It's
Yeah.
hard, and there's layers. If you guys look, like there looks like there's paintings on top of paintings on top of paintings. So all we're seeing is like what's on the surface. Like, I want them to dig more. Like Tabitha, pull them out, scatter them about. Let's see what else is under there. What about you, Raven? Or any one of
I think
those single
the kids that were on the little,
the
yeah.
merry-go-round?
Yeah.
You think those are the 7 on Cooey kids? Because there were 7 kids on there.
They don't look very uncooey in that picture, but
before maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they have like the white face. They made sure to make the faces painted like particularly white. It was weird. Like
that one was kind of uncool.
Yeah, they was particularly kind of creepy faced a little bit to me, but then again, I don't know. Some of them are just creepy anyways.
They really are. What about you, Raven? Are any one of those images like give you like a holy shit, what's that?
Super basic, man. I'm the super basic guy. The Civil War soldier. It's like, okay, so that tells me that vision is not a one-off, is not something that they're just going to discard, but it's gonna repeat because it was way too, almost like the same pose almost.
Yes.
Way too beyond coincidence. So it went from I'm waiting for another, and look at his eyes, kind of like these guys have a problem with their left eyes. The cannibal drinking out of the skull, his left eye's messed up. This guy in the original, and in the original scene, and this isn't kind of sorta, this isn't draw a random Civil War soldier. This is the dude that was chasing Jade. So I mean, that we are waiting for that second data point. We've been waiting. Is it significant? Well, we don't know. We're waiting for that. This is that second data point. Okay, so now we can firmly hang our hat on this. Isn't just a one-off. It isn't something they're just going to dismiss and discard, and they showed it just for dramatic effect. So we're going to see, I absolutely believe we're going to see this guy again. That this thing tells me that we're going to see more about this 1864 Civil War soldier, guy with a burn, a guy with his left eye messed up. So that's what that tells me.
Interesting. And she focused on that because I think she remembers that Jade told her that he had the vision of the Civil War soldier. Because didn't he tell that to Tabitha that he saw the Civil War dude?
Yeah, because she saw the picture from Eloise and he's like, this is a connection. I saw that. And this is the one I believe they were talking about, and I'll have to get a better image of it. But yeah, there's this creepy face here with some hands outstretched on what... There's a better image of it, and it looks like possibly a talisman in their hands. But this image is not the best.
That could be a talisman, and maybe that's the lady who made the talismans in some way.
It's definitely some creepy images. We got these little 2 figures in this doorway, which kind of looks like what maybe where Martin was held. We got possibly the what Boyd maybe found the talismans in, possibly. I'm not sure. It's another little stone structure. Let's see what else you got.
There's so much down there. I don't even know where to... I know Jeremy said he has a good theory video that he's coming out with about the man in the yellow suit. He made a connection to someone with the man in the yellow suit.
Mm-hmm.
All I could think of was Curious George, the guy from Curious George. That's the only thing I could think of when I saw him. I don't know why that popped into my head.
It was a king in yellow, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, remind me of that guy that was under the boulder.
Oh,
that's what.
But
he
also
looks
the red. Why do you think he's outlined in red? Do you possibly think this could be the big red monster that's depicted in the cave drawings?
That's one way to look at it.
What do you think, Raven? Or you think it could be the guy? Like the outline of red could symbolize like that same red from down in the cave paintings?
again, we're given no real info or explanation. We just have to go off of what it reminds you, because they do this a lot in this show. They bring things that are evocative, things that remind you of something else that you've seen, whether it's related or not. I mean, you put a red aura behind somebody, not just kind of
Right?
sort of red,
Automatic,
not fire
evil.
engine red. Yeah, it's blood red. It's there. So I mean, they may as well, they could have put like black waves coming off of him, and that would have been, that would indicate evil. This thing definitely, I mean, having a red background like that definitely makes him menacing. His eyes are the shifty eyes. I didn't read King in Yellow, the H.P. Lovecraft one, and I didn't get the reference of, there's that other one, that True Detective, or was it True Detective? One, like the first season, I guess there was also a reference to King in Yellow. All that stuff has gone over my head. I didn't really delve into it, so I don't have any any opinion on it. But I mean, just going right off the surface, just does indicate maybe we're going to see this guy. What if he pops up in will he pop up in visions? Will he pop up in dreams? Will he be a physical thing? None of this we know. I hope definitely. I mean, why would they do that? Why would they put that there if it's not going to cash in? Why would they make Boy in White's mouth a crow if I'm all about justice for the crows, but yeah, the Boy in White picture that's in both the intro and finally in painting form here in the show, I'm not going to say it ain't a crow. It damn sure looks like one. Why would it have that the top part,
it does,
the top
right?
and the bottom? So yeah, I was never very good at analyzing these paintings and stuff, even when Victor was pulling Eloise's stuff out of the trunk of the car.
Mm-hmm.
But so I really defer to the people that are better at the photo analysis and drawing things. But yeah, this one just, so all my takes on this stuff is very superficial. But why would you draw a dude? Why would you give him a red aura, a red black background, unless there was a reason for it?
Yeah.
And that's what she's seeing in her LSD vision. So
Yes.
That's another good question. Do you think the drugs actually unlocked it?
I mean, that's possible. That was something that was floating around, and particularly if you're talking about those who were chosen, that perhaps that's why Jade, if he's one of the chosen, maybe he sees more than Tabitha, because Tabitha never really, doesn't seem like she was one who would be taking drugs, and he definitely came into this place high as a kite on cloud 9 in a whole nother dimension. It's definitely possible.
What about you, Jade? Do you think the drugs unlocked her ability to see all this, or that's just a coincidence?
Maybe it made her more susceptible. I'm like, if she was chosen, she's gonna see what she wanted to see anyway.
Which is interesting because they made the note to say after they took like this last acid trip, and that's when she started to see the visions.
One last hoorah. It's a big hoorah.
Just like DMT, peyote, ayahuasca, all this stuff, it like thins the veil or whatever. It opens up access to those kind of things. We listen to Joe Rogan talking about going to the 9th dimension and stuff.
I've personally never been, so this is out of my wheelhouse. I wouldn't know. Tripping has always scared the shit out of me. So I'm a chicken when it comes to that.
Garrett says all the paintings are really good, even the throwaways. Spidey says, odd, so many paintings are at night. Yes, there was lots of night paintings.
Yeah.
Definitely something interesting with that. Woodrow says, I'd say that is the stone hut where boys' talismans are found. Yes, and you can kind of see it even in this picture back here. There's an image right here kind of above it, but then behind it, all these images is the stone sort of structure that look kind of like Boyd's. So what else we got? What is the ventriloquist dummy wearing? I think he's just wearing like a little suit, right? A little suit tie
like
kind of thing.
Suit.
Yeah, with his little bow tie.
see what else we got. Just Jenna says they put his canvas next to the lighthouse. I believe he is connected to it. Some shade of red in his background and in the bricks of the lighthouse pick. Ooh, it is kind of look a little reddish. Let's see. It's brown or red. See, that's where now I don't know. I'll go with red. We'll go with it. I like it.
Connection.
It's like another version of the boy in white. I think somebody did float that out there, right? Like this was the boy in yellow or something, or man in yellow. One of you guys out there floated. That was pretty funny. And yes, yellow. So much yellow and green, always. And there's this particular color of yellow or quincy that is associated with certain gods or goddesses within their names. And it usually is associated with death. So he definitely could be some sort of death god. Nightmarish death god.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, there's just so much down there. I personally, the image that stood out the most to me was definitely this man in yellow, because it really brought my lost vibes. Like now we have a boy in white and we have a man in yellow. Just like in Colossus, we had Jacob and the man in black. So could these possibly be the two factions that are at play in From?
It's definitely possible.
Right?
Angelie says Randall didn't attend the funeral. It was a good time for him to try and steal Alma again or steal food from the diner. Ooh, yes, it is. Randall was trying to get him something extra.
Oh, that's another thing. Good thing they brought that. What'd you think about that, JH? They all showed up to that funeral.
Trash. Hope all of them
They was
died.
all sitting there.
Their time is coming.
Guilty. They're guilty, feeling guilty.
Yeah, they each and every one of them that friggin' barreled their way through her.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Well, I bet you it's not even the same townies.
Sorry.
They didn't
Sorry.
show up.
Yeah,
These
sorry,
were the
Chin Chin. Yeah, sorry, Chin Chin. Last time I saw you, I was barging into your house stealing canned turnips.
Right? You got food for a day. Because you know your fat ass is going to eat it all at one sitting because you're not going to fucking ration it out anyway. So, yeah, now you're sitting at her funeral. That was ballsy. That was pretty ballsy.
And Real did do a side by side, right? He matched up the people that were barging in on our port to this scene. Yeah, I think.
Yes.
So there were like at least 3 instances of guilty folks.
Yeah, it didn't look like quite the whole town came. It seemed as if they kind of packed in who they could, because yeah, we don't see Baca or Randall or a few other characters in this scene.
Said he's by the door. Yeah, it's him.
Oh, is that him? Okay. I know some people were saying that he wasn't there, and I didn't honestly pay that even close attention. But yeah, that's definitely. I'm not. Is that him? It looks like.
Where is Bacta though? I'm putting her on a milk carton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to double check. Is she in here? I don't know, because I didn't see Randall.
We've seen a couple of kids, like a couple of extras pop up. Yeah, they popped up a few times, like in the town scene. I'm surprised they didn't bundle somebody up in winter clothing and have them fill the seats here too. You know, reusing the same extras. But yeah, no Bacta. That is so strange.
Interesting. Is Elgin there?
I don't think I see him either.
Or maybe the bus folk didn't feel like they knew her well enough, but still.
He might have been too sleepy.
Well, Victor's not there. He's off on his adventure to find whatever he's got to find, because he just took off. I know Ethan wanted to go. He was looking for him and couldn't find him. I don't think, was he here, or did I just miss him too?
No, Ethan is sitting with his dad.
No, I mean Victor.
No, he's not there. He's not there, because I think this is what's going to start his journey. So we're going to see whatever he digs up.
He's going to go hunting for to remember.
What do you guys think it is? I think he's going to dig up Polaroids. What do you guys think he's going to dig up? What do you think, JH? What do you think he's going to dig up in that hole?
I think that makes sense. I would
right?
say more pictures, but kind of got enough of that. Well, drawings.
Right? Like,
Mhm.
wouldn't Polaroids be like a step up? Because
Yeah.
we know that Polaroids were around because we saw the picture of Christopher. So what if he pulls up a box of Polaroids instead of drawings this time?
Yeah.
You never know. What about you, Ravener? What do you think he's gonna pull up? I know some people thought he was going to dig up his mom or his sister, some like crazy, crazy shit. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope not. I hope
No.
it's just Polaroids or something. But what do you think?
You got me on this last week too. I haven't seen. I must have either just glossed past it or seen it and didn't didn't dive in. I don't even remember a scene showing him digging anything. I have zero on this one.
Maybe you wrote a diary.
Think so?
Oh.
Buried it.
Yeah.
Well, we know
be.
Cowtry buried his stuff and it stayed relatively intact. So it's not like things are getting like degraded, right? The candy bar and the whiskey and stuff, even the label was intact. So inside the bag that Cowtry buried it with. So maybe Polaroid. It could be Polaroids. And I agree with you, JH. They've kind of, I won't say exhausted, but they've already done the picture thing. I mean,
Yeah.
a photo versus a drawing. Yes, it's a difference, but it's also the same. So I wonder if there is something completely unpredictable. Do you think it's going to happen in this next episode? Do you think they're driving in that direction?
Not this. I'm gonna go with the revelations.
Oh wow, that late, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I
okay.
think that's going to be part of like the season kind of cliffhanger. Like he gets to whatever it is, and it's like right before he opens it, and that's it.
So they're going to keep Victor on walkabout for 7 episodes? That is interesting.
Possibly.
Hey, we need some revelations, so there you go.
Oh, true. That kind of does fit that like kind of theme. But now that we've seen that Eloise kind of is the painter, are you guys confident to say that she drew that peach truck map?
I am.
Eloise or Miranda?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miranda.
Miranda.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Miranda. Mommy dearest.
Ooh. So she went in Victor's. I mean,
That's how they knew the stories, right? Victor and Eloise, I'm assuming, knew about From even before she entered. And whether she told the stories directly or telling, because she was making these paintings before she entered, she was telling these stories to Henry and even possibly to her children. They knew it From, just like they said, well, Mom always, we knew about the stories from our mom. These stories may not have been when she was in From. These stories could have came prior to their entry. She started the Peach Truck map, and I think she might have even been working with Christopher. I mean, I know some of you guys have floated that out way back during season 2, and I think that's even more true now that we know she's probably the one that did it.
So she painted it in the peach truck.
It's possible, knowing how much, especially
Miranda,
Victor,
yeah. Did I say Eloise? I'm sorry, I meant to say Miranda.
Especially how much Victor likes peaches, right? You see the peaches in his bedroom on the wall to that one. So yeah, I think there's something with that of her at least mapping it out in order. I think she was trying to find certain things and sort of mapped it out. Where was it? Bedroom.
Also, wouldn't it be really interesting? I said it last night with you and Jeremy that what we know that Miranda heard from and stuff about From, but she didn't know how to get there. What if it was she followed the peach truck? Because if the peach truck has been there since they've been there, that means that it came around the same time they would have, or before that, if it's that old. What if she followed the peach truck to get into From?
That could be something.
That would be interesting, right? Like she didn't know how to get into From, and something said like you have to leave now and follow this, get to this truck and follow it or something.
Yeah. And how the peach truck gets so far away from every other vehicle too. It's kind of like off on its own.
Right? Like in like the
well, maybe she put it, maybe they got the keys, said, hey, we're gonna start like base of operations. That's maybe how Victor, if that item in his lunchbox is a talisman, maybe that's how he got one. He already knew where they were, or at least from the stories. I don't know if maybe even his mom tried to get them, or maybe she didn't really care about the town. She was just there to save the children. So she's like, hey, we got one to save us. Screw everybody else.
But we know that they were carting some of it up to Colony House at least.
Yep.
Because Donna was doling it out to him like a can at a time.
Jeremy, and you are welcome to come on. I know you have the link.
Yep.
Whenever
Feel free.
you're ready, if you have time, or if you would like to, either way.
But no, this is a really awesome episode, and I don't know where I stand yet on like my full emotion of Tien Chen. That was just so sad. But who do you think might? Because I know the showrunners put it out there that we're going to get more than one loss. Who do you think's up in the running, guys? Who do you think it's going to be?
Jim.
Oh, yay!
Oh my God,
I'm okay with that.
that's rough. That'd be rough on the kids.
It would, but he's so annoying, Ravener. He's such an annoying character to me. Like, I just want to like grab him and just, most people just want to shake. Just want to be like, snap out. Like, what's wrong with you?
It's kind of, I mean, it is irritating. He's irritating, but it's how he's written is irritating. And I saw a whole lot of, some people like Julie's little berating of him or whatever, just because they don't like Jim. But it was like, man, if you ever talk to somebody like that, and she's like, get your shit together, this kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God, it's his fault for not like having any kind of discipline. But for
my mom
her,
said that to me. She was like,
yeah.
I don't care what the situation was. I would have smacked you in your mouth.
Oh,
I was like, I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
And she almost reminded me of that like low grade bitchiness that Tabitha had towards Jim. And that I kind of passed off as, they have to establish that things were not right in their relationship. Yes, they're getting divorced and all this other stuff, but boy, she really, and I hate to argue both sides of it, but people were saying that's a teenager. All the other wild mood swings and stuff that Julie was doing. They're like, boy, you've never had a teenager. Then that's what they do. And I guess you could take that into account as well. But I don't know if it was just the way she phrased it, the writing for Julie, the actual script writing for Julie. I don't think she did a horrible job of the acting of it, but it was just like, damn, man. And here's Jim just absorbing it like a cuck, and it's like, you don't respect anybody like that. So it's tough. They're really writing Jim into a corner. I mean, who's going to give a shit what he does or what happens to him? Because and not through any fault of his own, not through any fault of the actor, but they're just making this character. And then yet they give him the pivotal scene with the phone call at the very end, the cliffhanger, the actual cliffhanger of the episode.
Yeah.
So it was like,
So yeah, speaking of that, do you guys think that was Thomas? What do you think that was?
Hang on one second. Let me just get some of these comments.
Oh, yes.
You guys are saying Chocolate Beauty says maybe they were surviving in the peach truck. That's definitely a possibility. Vic says the peach truck, aka Victor's hidden man cave. Absolutely. And Angela says for the funeral, they moved the mailbox that was being used as a podium in the church. Did they ever open the mailbox to see if there was mail in there? Read the mail to find out their location. Yeah, I don't know if I'm assuming it was empty and it was just part of the town, but never know. I don't think they ever did open it to find out. It'd be interesting, though.
That would be.
Let's see. I know there was one up here. Justin, I believe, was talking about maybe Victor found a gun or another pistol. I just seen it over there.
Well, sometimes truck drivers do.
Just Janice. I'm sorry. Says maybe I think this is when we were talking about what Victor could have be looking for, digging up another pistol. Victor stays with it because he gave up his gun, so maybe he got him a new one.
Could be.
Let's see. I think there's even a way that answers could be in the paintings. In a sense, the talisman is a physical thing that protects. Can't the paintings and the music maybe act in the same way somehow? It's all possible. I mean, this show definitely make you think what is real and what is not. Wild Majorum says, dig up his mom.
Oh my
Ooh,
God,
that
that would
was
be so morbid.
crazy. Wolverine fan says Victor and his daddy both stay awkwardly strapped. Yes, they both love to keep their pistols on them. Let's see what else we got.
And you guys are
Scroll
killing
back
it in the
down.
chat.
Yes,
Thank
you guys
so
are killing
much.
it tonight. And thank you all for hanging with us on a Monday night. 'Cause it's another Manic Monday.
I know. Thank you guys always for hanging out with us. And thank you again, JH, for coming through. Thank you, Ravener, for coming through. We appreciate you joining us on panel.
No problem.
Yes, indeed. And Woodrow says, I believe the Peach Truck is a museum for failed escapes. Ooh, that is possibility. Momo says, I'm not a fan of Jim, but I would never talk to my parents like that. Yeah. That's what Dana said. Her mama almost slapped her. And Dana didn't say nothing, but Dana's mama heard.
I know, my mom
she was
just
ready
looked
to
at me
slap Dana.
My mom just looked at me and said, you would never. And I said, no, I would not.
Angela says Jim is not going anywhere soon. He needs to talk to Thomas. Yes, and welcome, Jeremy. Welcome.
What's up, Jeremy?
What's
There
up,
you go.
guys?
What's up?
Yep.
What's up? What's up? Awesome to see this great crowd in here tonight. What is up, chat?
I know they were killing it in here. They're coming with some
Love
good
it.
stuff.
Love
That's
it.
crazy. Yeah, my YouTube doesn't always update. So when I refreshed it, because we were like at 42, I was like, oh man. But now we're up over 80 souls. Please hit that thumb to let YouTube know that this is worthwhile. And let's get into it, man. I want to hear what you have to say, Jeremy.
Well, I'm just catching up. I mean, I'm a little bit behind, so I'll take your guys' lead.
Well, we
Well,
were
tell
just
us a little bit about your theory on the
Man in Yellow.
The King in Yellow.
Oh, the King in Yellow. Eesh, I don't know how much I should reveal. I got a
Oh,
lot
that's
of it
right.
coming
That's
out
right.
in my video
Just give
tomorrow morning.
the
I will
people
say
a little
this: the King in Yellow is a very interesting story by Robert Chambers, and it's a collection of a bunch of short stories that are said to make the reader go mad on completion of reading them. And if you look a little deeper into some of the four stories that makes it up, there are a lot of like eerie similarities between that story and Fromville. From Fromville to Carcosa to the King in Yellow, and maybe the Boy in White. There's a lot of similarities there in the crossover, which is why I highly recommend anybody who is into that kind of stuff maybe read the King in Yellow, and you'll probably see some of these similarities for yourself. But it's just an interesting story. I don't think it's going to be too tied to anything here. But after reading The King in Yellow and looking back on From, I wouldn't be too surprised if they took some small inspiration in some areas from it.
Awesome. No, I can't wait. We told everybody that you were coming out with a video for it. So
yes, yeah, it'll be out tomorrow morning.
Awesome. And I cannot wait to check it out because I have not heard about this.
I've never heard of that story.
I look forward to that.
It's a good story. It's a good story. They touch on it a little bit. They kind of weave the King in Yellow and Carcosa into True Detective season 1. If anyone saw the first season of True Detective with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, they kind of weave into it a little bit there. They don't go too deep into it, but it's such a trippy story. If you like Lovecraftian kind of stories, then you'll love this.
Nice. See, Delcenia says Thomas died when he fell off the changing table as an infant. So I don't think that was Thomas on the phone, just 1PF, the entity messing with and trying to break Jim. Yeah, that baby, I don't know. I'm literally thinking I'm going to have to research entities now to find out if that's like, I'm trying to think of like ghost lore. Is it a thing like if a baby dies? Because we hear Tabitha's dream, she hears a baby crying. So that was supposed to be like the first reference to Thomas, or at least give us that mindset that was supposed to be the first reference, and this is the second. So yeah, what is it? Was that Thomas, or is it just playing tricks with us? I'm still undecided.
0% chance it's Thomas.
It's a
I don't
troll.
think it's
Yeah, if he's a baby that he's
it's a
still,
troll.
yeah, if he's on a changing table at that age, and Julie said, she was 15. Well, she's only 16 now, so it's less than a year. A 2-year-old isn't going to be like, Dad, this is Thomas.
And Michelle,
Right?
my friend
Right?
Michelle
Like,
sent me a
this kid should be a
screenshot
toddler.
of
This kid
Tabitha
shouldn't even be able
saying,
to talk yet.
Mm-hmm. And that
Yeah.
depends on what kind of education you get in the spirit world. He may not be hooked on phonics.
Crazy Matt, I wouldn't have even answered the phone. Right?
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
who's
believe
gonna-
that, though. Crazy Mad was in Fromville in this crazy wild place. He probably wouldn't even answer the phone. He probably just
Nope,
wouldn't
let it
answer that.
ring. It's telemarketers. We ain't got time for it.
well, that's a good question. Would you guys pick up that phone?
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta, right? How can you not?
I get somebody else. I'd be like, "Hey, Kenny, where you at?"
Well, he was the most susceptible too, because he was, he'd heard the voice on the radio, so he still in his mind has that rattling around that there are somebody somewhere that they are not aware of that is able to communicate. So, yes, the phone is connected to nothing and it doesn't go anywhere, but how do you not? If you're Jim, you absolutely cannot not answer it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Especially with this whole history with the radio. Like, you got to, right?
And Sarah, like somebody like Sarah might be like, F this. I got enough voices anyway. I don't need additional ones. I don't need to hear from
That's a good
nobody else.
point. That's a good point.
JH, you answering that phone? You
If
answering
I
that
were
phone?
Jim, yeah. If I were me, no. No, thank you.
Right? I don't know. But Michelle did help me figure out that Tabitha does say that the baby's only a few months old when he dies.
Yeah, I thought that was the case, and then
She sent me a screenshot. She added the screenshot to my question, and it clearly says, when she says it, Tabitha's like, my baby died when it was only a few months old.
Yeah, and then it was only like 6 months later that they get stuck here in Fromville, I believe. So that
Yeah.
baby could not have been that old to be talking like that. So that's super
No.
trippy.
Not at all.
Just a flash
can't be-
sideways.
Yes.
Possibly. You never know.
You never
never
died.
know. But now, good side or bad side?
You already know how I
Bullshit.
feel, Dana. Most of
For the
little,
phone
like,
call, you think the person's on
all
the
that
good side
stuff
or
is
the bad
probably
side?
bad. I didn't like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dead father
If there's
torturing me.
something trying to manipulate Jim into thinking it's his dead son, then it's probably not. Doesn't have that. It probably doesn't have good intentions. I would say if that's the case.
Are you guys very, very confident that this isn't, because Kenny got a phone call in his dream, the cicada phone call. Are you guys certain that Jim isn't wigging out and having a dream or a
dream?
vision?
He walked.
Yeah.
They come from here. They walk by Boyd, giving the spiel about wanting to go after the monsters and trap them. They walk by.
Yeah.
The kids kind of give Jim the whole, "We don't want to go with you. We're gonna go to see the animals." And then they show him walk into the house. So I unless
I
we're,
think it's legit.
it's possible, but I thought it was the real thing. But then again, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and double check. Like, was there any?
I think it's legit, and I don't think this is going to be the only phone call he gets. Because we see there's one little snippet in one of the trailers where you see Jim slamming down that phone like really hard, like he's so sick of getting these phone calls. I get the feeling. So I get the feeling this is going to be the only one he gets.
Oh, he's going to start getting them when there's nobody around to corroborate, huh? And it's going to be messing with his brain.
Maybe.
Maybe. See, Michael says Kenny was dreaming for his call, took something out of his dream that affected the story. Cicada's riddle. Jim will wake up from his dream and something will drive the story going forward. So he's thinking it might be a dream. Who knows?
I just put it out there. Yeah.
I can see it being possible, I suppose. You never know. Or if not a dream, something that Jim is kind of, imagining. Like you said, Raven, it's one of those things where maybe only Jim can hear the phone ringing.
I'm sorry, Ella. Jen Hack says, I would answer and troll the shit out of whoever called me in Fromville. Perfect. Yes.
Star 69 them.
Yeah, nice callback.
Let's see what else we got. Golden
Man,
Child
remember
says,
Star
"The priest
69? Does
didn't
that
have
still
no-"
work?
I know, right?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to have like one of those phones.
Did
that
I
you
just
actually plug up.
announce my age?
You brought. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It brought back some memories. The old Star 69 and the Star 67 days to block your number before you call somebody, so it showed up in
Yep.
private.
Yes,
No, right.
you
If you ever tried to
youngins.
prank phone call somebody, you found out real quick they had caller
Yeah.
ID.
There was something called Star 69 back in the day for all you young people in the chat that you were able
Yeah.
to figure out who called you on your home phone, not a cell phone, on your home phone.
When you dialed
Yes.
your phone with a dial.
I had to push real buttons and it had to be plugged into the wall.
Roman says,
Or back in
"Why
the day
is
when the
phone-"
internet was just coming out, you could not go on the internet and go on the phone at the same time, and one would
Yep.
tie up the other, and it's like, get off the internet! I got to use the phone.
Somebody would try to call you. Like, I remember one time I was supposed to be at home sick, of course, but I was on the computer on the internet. My dad's like trying to call me, or mom's trying to call, check on me. And they're like, "Well, of course you're not sick. You're sitting here on the computer." They were pissed. They were like, "God damn it!" I was like, "I'm sorry. I was playing games. My bad." Because it did tied up the line. That was when we still had AOL. It's dial-up days.
Yes, I don't know what age bracket you fall into, JH, but
I remember it all. I remember that and 10, 10, 220.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Roman fan says, "Why is the phone even on the wall? I mean, what the fuck? They gonna call? What the fuck they gonna call? Are there TVs in front of it?" And yes, we've seen some TVs, although they do not seem to be working. There's nothing. I don't think they have a channel to go to. But yeah, I think this is. I don't remember if it was in your chat, Jeremy, or you brought it up. Somebody was bringing up that this was like the only phone, and I
was just going to say
saw
that. I think it
somewhere
was
else
one of
that
you
it looked
guys
like.
that brought it up.
I thought there might be another phone. I saw one, but it looked like it was broken. Like part of it was off. So I don't know if like maybe this has happened before in other houses and people like rip the phones off from going crazy.
And not even at the post office / sheriff's department either.
Yeah, is this the only house with a phone? I mean, it's not something I really looked for because we don't see a whole lot of the interiors of the other houses. I mean, in terms of like the houses in the town, we really only see the interior to this one, the old Matthews house, and Sarah's old house. I don't think we've even seen any other interiors to any other houses. But I don't know. This might be
they have a phone booth next to the bar.
There is an old phone booth next to the bar. Yeah, Jade walks right by it right before he meets good old Trudy, and while she wants to ride him like an alabaster dragon.
Trudy. That's interesting. I don't know. So you guys think he's gonna get more phone calls?
Yes.
Yeah.
He gonna go crazy. Look, it's trying to make everybody crazy in this place. And how else would you break someone up with their dead child possibly calling? That would kill me. I mean, no.
I mean, just the fact that you have, I mean, it's so unnatural to, have a child die before a parent. It just goes against the very natural order of things. Then to hear something like that after you're stuck in a place like this, after hearing that first radio call, yeah, something might be trying to drive Jim, a little bit off the rails. And it does seem like season 3 is leaning into that heavily kind of psychological torture aspect, especially with Boyd and, seeing what they're doing to him.
Yeah. And that was the pivotal event that led to, like, both Jim and Tabitha haven't been able to get over it and haven't been able to move on together. So that was a pivotal event for their divorce. So there's no amount of closure. There's no amount of like moving on or anything for either of them at this point. So yeah, you're exactly right. This is just salt in the wound and keeping it fresh. So yeah, like big level trolling, but probably even more sinister than just trolling.
Yeah, that's like, but like you said, like if this place, how would this place know unless they watch? Like there's what do you think could possibly be watching them? Do you guys think it's the crows?
I don't know.
I would think so.
I don't know.
Or is it just kind of like I don't know. I'm just trying to think what could be watching them like that we haven't seen in some scene or another.
Right. I mean, I mean, it's entirely plausible that it's the crows, but also, I mean, we haven't even seen like a cutaway or like a super long distance drone scene where you hear crows in the background or anything. I mean, there's absolutely no indication other than right at the log in the road. You know, that of the crows being there. Now they might. There's not to say that they can't introduce it as the actual reason for them seeing them, but man, they just for all this time we haven't heard a peep out of them. Although we do have that scene where it breaks through in Colony House at some point, you know, in the season trailer, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But that's really the first time we're going to see crows other than at the tree in the road, right?
Yeah, they're referencing all kinds of, usually we mostly see them in the drawings, Victor's drawings, all these drawings. There's tons of crows in all of these drawings. But when it comes to the actual show, yeah, we have some interesting scenes that kind of make us, as the audience, aware that these crows are going to play some kind of role. But they haven't really given us much of anything definitive on what role that's going to be.
I know.
Yeah, it's
gonna be
definitely interesting. Jinx.
I know, right? I just feel like I don't even know where to like start anymore. Like with this episode, we got so much, and just to know that friggin' Victor's mom was hearing stuff before she even entered Fromville, then to like just get that whole dump of the paintings and everything like that. I don't know. I don't know what's in store for us this season anymore, because we've basically seen everything in the trailer. So what's left?
Well, you got the ambulance. You got the.
I haven't seen the crows crash yet.
Yep, crows haven't
Crows
crashed.
crash. Well, it looks like
That's
going
in
to be
daylight.
episode 3 based on the trailer.
Yeah, that's daylight. It's funny though because they had the rats eating the dead crow, and because I did a quick Google. You know, I should know my crows and ravens and corvids in general, but it didn't it didn't ring true to me that because there was some indication. Some people said that they thought there was a rat in the crow's
Yes.
there, and I was like, I don't think crows are. I mean, they're definitely not raptors. Where they'll catch something on the wing necessarily. They're definitely eat dead things and opportunists. But there's nothing to say that it couldn't find it the same way the rats didn't. I don't think the rats jumped and caught the crow on the wing. I mean, it might have been dead, and then they're eating the dead crow. The rats down in the monster caves. I think it's entirely possible the crow might have just picked up a dead rat, and what if it bears out, if it actually has it in its claws when it busts through the window. I know some people have like tried to slice and dice that scene frame by frame, and I don't think the quality was high enough to guarantee that there was such a thing.
Yeah, no, it was really blurry.
Okay.
There's a higher quality of it out now. They released the full version that you could watch it in more HD.
And it is a rat in the claws.
I haven't gone back and checked.
Oh.
I just know there's an HD version out there. I haven't looked at it yet though, but maybe it'll tell us something that the blurry vision couldn't. Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it is, it's entire. I guess it's almost like a point without a point. That I'm making. It just would have. I mean, it's entirely possible that it was a dead thing that a crow would pick up and carry around, and it makes for even an added effect of creepiness, bookending it with what we saw down in the cave, because they showed that scene. They showed that scene for no apparent reason. Just increasing bizarreness as Victor and Tabitha were walking. You'd see, oh my God, here's a crow getting eaten by rats, and then of course the ventriloquist dummy that puts Victor catatonic. It was just one bizarre scene after another. Every time they move the flashlight, something else weird. The Gollum kid, something weird was getting shown every time. So
let's see. Wild Majorium is saying the birds flying reminds me of the movie The Endless. Oh, interesting. Nick L says Victor is like a squirrel with burying things all over town. He's got quite a few little hiding spots out there.
Yeah, I
Cool.
can see that.
And Angela says the rat, the snitch slash mole, is eating crow, getting his or her comeuppance. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Some more
Nice.
of a metaphorical eating crow. Okay, I like it.
Jen Hack says, so how about Fatima and the vegetables? Yes. Yeah, we discussed that a little bit earlier, even last night, Jeremy. Yeah, the vegetables. I'll tell you about them
Yeah,
vegetables.
I mean, they
She's gonna
were
be
put there for
feasting
that
next
reason.
episode.
They have to be. I mean, especially now that we're seeing that Kenny and Jim are finding freshly grown food, a little outside of the town of Fromville. So we know the entire place isn't just poison soil. That is definitely telling me that this rotten food was specifically put here to nourish Fatima's baby.
And I think we were talking about last night, right? Like the timing it pans out with when the notice of the crops actually starting to fail was like the same exact time, or you said like the same episode when Fatima comes
Similar
in and
timing,
announces the pregnancy. So yeah, it tracks pretty decently. And then knowing that she will have the closest bounty at hand, and the town has to go just a little further out to get theirs.
And she was
Yep.
dogging
And you
that
see the
food like it was the
stills
best
for
meal she
episode-
ever had.
And she was gorging on it, right? Like it did look like she was enjoying every single bite, like way too much.
Yeah, dude, she got her hair in it too. She was eating like so by the hair. So, ravenous.
Yeah, but we played the scene before because we were talking about did she actually smell it when she walked up the steps? Like what? Because something stopped her in her tracks, and it wasn't them talking, because we didn't hear them talk until she like walked around the corner.
I think she smelled the wrong food. And
Yeah,
we'll play we'll play the clip again, and all you guys let us know in the chat what you think. Here it is.
None of these are any good. They're all gross. Pick those to the kitchen.
So the wind's blowing from her front to her back, and she turns to her left. So they must have been very fragrant, or her senses of smell, it must be super strong, because she wasn't even downwind of it.
I think the baby's honing in on that, and that's telling Fatima that this is what I need. She's not being able to keep any kind of normal food down. This is I don't know. I'd be very surprised if this rotten food wasn't put there for her.
Yeah, how's she going to manage though? I mean, this is a one-off where she happened upon an completely unattended basket of rotten stuff. Is she going to have to stockpile it, or?
Well, that's the thing. If you look, BK dropped these stills for episode 3 in the Discord. There's a lot more rotten food where that came from.
Like giant mountains we haven't looked or anything.
Okay.
So that's the rotten pile of food we see in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
That she's walking over to.
Yeah. And it seems like Fanny Pat Granny is taking a special interest in Fatima in episode 3.
She'll be diving head first into that thing like a radio station contest. You stick your head in the pudding or whatever.
It's definitely weird though. I get it because Raver brought it up, and he wanted to show the clip, because when she grabs that door, when I first watched it, I'm even more on the fence now because the talisman's there. We were talking about earlier in the chat, Jeremy. Some folks were bringing it up, and I think even Tony was bringing up, Tony Teflon, about how talisman's there. Even when she enters into the clinic, technically Ellis opens the door first, so just the way the talismans work, once you open the door, they don't work anymore, so she would have been able to enter. The way she grabs the door, you hear the click, but you also see her attention go straight to the food, so it was very misleading. And I don't know if that's purposely for the show, because obviously even in the chat, folks are like, yes, Fatima cannot go in with the talisman door, while others are thinking, yes, she definitely smelled the food.
And it seemed to me like, kind of like if a door isn't locked on the latch part, but it is locked in the deadbolt, that's what that reminded me of. Like if it's deadbolted, but you open the latch, so the latch got the full play, and that's what the sound that we heard. But instead of being deadbolted, it was talisman protected. But again, they didn't show her making like double attempts at it or anything like that. It was like she immediately got distracted. So they're leaving it way up in the air. And it was
Like,
pretty
if I
clever
would've
on their
saw
part.
her- If I would have saw her like jiggling the handle or something, I probably would have been a little more convinced that maybe she couldn't get in. But I don't think. I think it's just her smelling the food and going the other way. But I could be wrong.
Okay. And I mean, and the wind blowing in her face, of course, it's a show. You're not going to have the actress have her hair blown in front of her face. So that makes sense too. It could, yeah. I mean, and that's, I mean, they can write it. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're the writers. They can write it, and it has to come true because that's what, that's the thing. So yeah, she sensed it in one way or another. Maybe smelled it. Maybe sensed it. Maybe the baby sensed it with ESP or beat ESP.
We can do this. Let's see. Hang on. Let me get where it's not letting. There we go. I would have said Delcenia says let's pause it, and she goes to grab. Let's see if we can tell anything.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember her saying, that it was not completely.
And again, scenes like this are the perfect example of why this show screws with even us as the audience, where we know that the show is wrapped in so much mystery, and we know that there's so much bigger meaning in small things that we tend to I tend to kind of analyze every little thing, where sometimes it's just nothing there. Like the whole reflection in the window of Tabitha at the end of season 2 that a lot of people thought was a different reflection. This show plays with your mind. It really makes you kind of dive into things that maybe are just nothing.
She definitely takes a double whiff. Okay, that if you kind of watch her, she grabs the door, right? She's grabbing it. She's kind of, I'm trying to do it right. And then oh God, I'm not doing it right now with the slow mo. I saw it a second. Okay, there she goes. She takes kind of like looks back. She kind of smells it, and she does a second like double take.
Yeah, I think she smells it and kind of just goes that way.
Oh, I'm even more on the fence than I was before now.
Like you said, Ravener, it's fun when the show does kind of leave things ambiguous like this, because that's where these kind of fun discussions come from. Where you're not quite sure. Some people think it's this, some people think it's that. I do applaud the writers for leaning into the ambiguity every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting to see where they go with that. If she enters everybody's gonna be watching every time she enters a room, whether if somebody opened the door before her, if somebody let her in, that's everybody's gonna start looking for that.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about this is a small question. This is a small thing that 1000% we know. I mean, I will guarantee you that it's going to be resolved in the next episode in some way or another. Next time they show Fatima, maybe she'll be inside. We don't, but but until then, we can talk about it. We can think about it. We can analyze. Yeah. Okay, 36-inch ADA compliant door, 18 inches on center. All this. All this stuff.
Measurements, timestamps, focus in, zoom.
Somebody's out there.
That's what's fun about the show, though. It's what's fun about it. Diving into weird shit like this. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody in the fandom's out there buying beets right now because they're going to leave them outside till they rot and see how far they can smell them from.
Okay, she was about that far away. Put it right there. I'm gonna walk through the door now.
Yep. Jenna says she knows it's gross too, but can't stop it. Great acting. Yeah, I mean, she was. I'll tell you, the hair, like she didn't even stop. Hair was all in it. She was just like, "Yep, I'm consuming. It's time to eat." It has been like 4 days, 3-4 days.
I kid you not. If she eats that fucking raw cow, I'm done. And
if it was rotting raw cow, like if it was rotting, I would say she would eat it.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah.
Tainted meat. Meat.
I can't.
Crazy, man. She's just pregnant and hungry. It's fine.
She's just hangry.
Yeah, Momo says, Momo in the chat brings up a good thing. As someone who watches Yellow Jackets, all I could think was Tal eating the dirt. It does kind of make you think of something like that. Just crazed eating the dirt in the middle of the night. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
She might want it rare. I can't. But it's like they went from this scene right to the cow. Like you can't
Exactly,
right to
right?
the cow. Like it
That's
wasn't
what
like just
threw me
Donna
off.
butchering. It was like
Yeah,
zoomed
it's
into the
literally the next scene is Donna butchering the cow. It's like, okay, and sometimes shows will give you hints just with simple transition edits like that.
Mm-hmm. Wolverine's with you. It says that bitch eats the cow. I'm done till episode 4.
right. Like I don't know if I can stop that. Oh my god, we just see
Jealous raw
patching it.
cow equals beef tartare is a delicacy. Okay.
And any hint that the milkman's claw would taint the meat in any kind of way? That was
That's
a
what we were
question
wondering.
last week, completely out the window this week, right? So I love it.
Well, I don't know because the
No?
veins,
Well, no, I
right?
don't know if it's completely out the
Oh.
window. I'm
Oh.
still a little bit worried about this meat maybe being a little tainted.
Yeah,
Because I'm not sure
okay.
if that vein change on the monsters is poison going out of their veins into their victims or blood being drained into them, sort of like feeding.
Yeah, I wish we had it in video so we could see it happen.
I will have to get that for the
Get
next.
it? Yeah, put it in your recorded video.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I can
JH. Do you think
pull
that
it up.
them scratching and killing the cow they did tainted the meat?
Didn't cross my mind. I don't think so.
You think it's gonna be okay?
It's gonna be okay. Don't cook that cow.
Chocolate Beauty says mad
We're gonna have
cow
to see-
disease.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Do they write it in? I mean, is it going to serve the story? What are they? I mean, if it does, again, it's giving them more hope because they've, yes, they're harvesting the cow sooner than they thought, but at least now
Yeah.
they have food. And then another rug pull. Oh, we thought we had meat and we actually don't. But
The only thing that made me think about it was we've never actually seen any human or animal or anything get scratched by one of the monsters and live to tell about it. And now we have that happening with Boyd. He got clawed on the arm and he lived to tell about it. So I feel like Boyd's cut will give us the answer we need about this cow. If he doesn't get any kind of infection, if nothing weird happens to him, I think it's safe to say the meat's fine.
Okay.
And as Papa Sock says, welcome to all those just joining the chat. Topic is a pregnant woman with possible demon babies who crave rotten food. Jump in and discuss.
Way to put it.
Well, between buckshot and a monster claw to the left shoulder, man, Boyd is taking that left shoulder is taking some trauma.
Yeah, he's showing it too, right? He's been grabbing at it a lot. And even Tabitha, she's sort of kind of grabbing at her wounds or her injuries from time to time.
Yeah,
They
for some
definitely
reason,
get beat up.
yeah, I really like the makeup, the scratch makeup on Tabitha for some reason. The split lip and the kind of like the scratches and stuff. It really looks realistic. I mean, like somebody who's gotten kind of like fallen through like bushes and scratches and stuff. I like that they've continued that through with her and it hasn't just like mysteriously gone away.
And that's the thing. They seem to be pretty good at showcasing it healing, like actively healing too, because we see her in some other photos and you can see the cuts are still there, but they're barely there, almost like they're actively putting these cuts on her and making them, a little bit healed up, look a little bit more healed up each, as the season goes on. So yeah, I really got to hand it to the aesthetics of this show. I love how they really lean into just heavy practical effects with very little CGI.
And Crazy Matt said, don't forget Boyd's spider bite. So he's definitely been taking some hits from the things.
Yeah, it looks like Boyd might be getting the Parkinson's back again. He's got the shakes coming back. I mean,
but do you think it's almost like mind over matter too? That everything he's been through, he could just be residual effects. It might not be the Parkinson's. You think it's the full-fledged Parkinson's?
I think it's possible. I mean, like considering all the psychological pressure and trauma that he's been through just in these last few episodes alone, and everything they're probably going to continue to do to him. I think anything's possible. Like when you have that kind of trauma in your mind, it can manifest physically in your body in any number of ways.
Yeah, I don't know, but poor Boyd, he's just going through so much. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with this monsters, because if he has to do it at night and that's when the ambulance shows up, it's going to be a crazy night.
Yeesh. And how's he
Wolverine
gonna isolate
says,
one of them alone? They're always like in packs, it seems. Like unless you can get like the granny's like the only one that kind of travels alone. I found. The rest of them always seem kind of be in pairs or packs.
Yep.
Wolverine says, Fatima already looking half dead. The rotten food is definitely not helping the sex appeal. Imagine sleeping next to that funky breath. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know about. That's why she's being secretive. Hopefully, she's hoping he don't notice.
Yeah, and I think just based on the season 3 trailer, the season 3 trailer, the episode 3 trailer for next week, I think it almost looks like maybe Fanny Pack Granny catches Fatima eating the rotten food.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, of course she does. She knows everything in town. I swear that lady.
Right? I mean, if anyone's gonna see it, of course it's gonna be sus ass Fanny Pack Granny. Can't ignore the
And
sus.
Dale is in next episode.
Okay,
Yes,
so Dale's
that's
still
right.
lingering around. All right.
We finally got Dale coming around. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys think? Do you think Dale's just been locked in that room the whole time, like where Donna had him? Think she's just been keeping him there the whole time, and she's just now starting to let him out, or we just maybe haven't seen him?
Yeah, well, they brought him out to go hunt for Randall's corpse, which wasn't a corpse, but yeah, maybe they put him back inside. All right, you're on detention again. Back in the room.
Remember, you did stab someone.
Yeah, he did
Oh,
almost
I'm
kill
sorry.
the sheriff's son.
He did say my bad though. He said, "Oh, sorry." Oh, I'm sorry.
He didn't mean it, though. He didn't mean it. Fuck you, you
Right.
didn't stab
And
me,
he
asshole.
said it was so weird too. He was just like delusional or something. Oh, I'm sorry. It was just a little stab. It was an accident. You're good. Gonna survive it.
Just a flesh wound.
Let's see.
Just a flesh wound.
There's nobody here with medical abilities, but you'll make it out to Christy, I'm sure. Oh God, that was horrible.
I know this is going to be episode 3 is going to be interesting.
Yes. I cannot wait to see where they're going. We got Victor running off to find some and discover some things he's forgotten. Fatima's basically turning into some death mother or bringer of death, something or another. I don't know. We finally know something about the world of From, or at least, like I said, the way they phrased that at the end, I loved it. Just the way they were talking about it, or Miranda was her version of it that she told Henry. I love that. So I can't wait to see what I was hoping like Tabitha finds out that. So is that what's going to, was that the only thing she's supposed to know before she goes back? That can't be it. She's got to have more information.
Yeah,
Gotta be more.
I
I think they showed the tree, right, in the trailer during before the season came out or whatever. So I know she's got to go play with the tree a little bit.
That'll be in episode 3. It's
okay.
The bottle tree. I think it's in Henry's yard. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's just this is it. You sent her back here just to find out information about Miranda, about you maybe potentially being this quote unquote chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it feels like maybe she's got something else to do while she's here. I always thought she was there to bring someone or to bring something back to Fromville. But I mean, if she's here just to get information, hopefully it's something a little more groundbreaking than that.
Because I don't even think she really put anything together with the images. I mean, I know we as fans seeing that stuff kind of wanted to put things together, but for her, because she doesn't know, like we know as fans certain things that she as a character don't know. So I know someone in the chat that brought it up earlier, why did she hone in on the picture that she honed in on? And she did on the boy in white at the end, but she was picking up the soldiers. Like that one was something extra special to her. Out of all the pictures, there were some other things in there that might have seemed more.
I think the Civil War soldier one stood out for her because that was the one that she and Jade talked about in season 2. Jade, they look at one of the Eloise drawings of the Civil War soldier, and Jade tells Tabitha about seeing the Civil War soldier. So that one probably just stuck out to her.
Mm-hmm. And there were some good ones in there. I was like, out of all, I was hoping she would like flip through them more too, because there were so many, like Dana said, the layers of them. I was like, can you peel back a little bit? Make sure you hold each one up to your face so we can see it.
Let's get a nice shot of every single one. Let's dive into this, shall we?
There's so many. There's so many there's so many down there.
Yep.
and layers upon layers of just stuff. So
and ones
I
that
don't
we know
know.
what they mean, and ones that we have not even the slightest clue of what they mean, and it's a good mix of both. So no, I love that. That was one of the cool. I mean, like for people like us who love kind of hunting for Easter eggs and weird little shit in the background, that's a gold mine just as good as the Peach Truck map right there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into that. I'm looking forward to diving into it.
Yeah, right. It's like the Pete's Truck map. It's like the cave paintings. It's like the drawings. Like we could just get in there with like a fine tooth comb and just like dig and dig and dig and dig. So it's gonna be interesting,
Pratt for From Freds.
right?
Yeah.
No, but thank you guys so much for showing up and talking about From with us, and this is a lot of fun. But we appreciate you guys so much. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, and you guys are killing it in the chat and on the panel. I'm loving the conversation. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm telling you, Dana, they're killing it.
I know. I don't know how you're keeping up.
I'm not. Woodrow says it seemed that Camden PD was a good talking term with Henry, or was on good talking terms with Henry. What was the dozen Henry promised him? Tickets to the policeman's ball?
Nah.
Yeah, he's like, I don't owe you one, I owe you a dozen. Almost like, these, maybe there's been similar run-ins like this in the past where they've kind of just given Henry a break, knowing his background, knowing his circumstances. I mean, I don't know. Seems like he was on a good, like Woodrow said, it seemed like they were at least on good terms. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was apparently a suspect at one point.
Yes, and let's see. Jen Hack says, so the faraway tree took Tabitha straight to Victor's hometown. Weird. Yes, there's lots of speculations. Was it the box? Are these items that people sort of have as they go through faraway trees or other places and from? Is that how things are sort of getting traversed? Or is there something more to it? Is the town... before this episode, I would definitely thought that it was connected to this town, but after kind of what Miranda says, that it's everywhere yet nowhere, I don't think it has an exact connection to anywhere anymore. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see what other mysteries are revealed. What do you guys think on those? How she got there, so to speak. Was it just
I think I'm still obsessed of Victor even giving her that lunchbox. I mean, it's very convenient how that lunchbox, and she ended up needing that lunchbox exactly to find her way when she was in Fromville. And I don't know. I mean, yes, it's probably just tinfoily hat me speaking, but part of me can't help shake the feeling that Victor knew she was going to end up there and was going to need that address and that lunchbox.
And even more so, did the boy in white know, and did he let Victor know?
Maybe.
What's your theory, JH? What do you think about that?
I think the boy in white dictates where she goes. I think he wants Henry back for a reason.
Ooh, okay.
Like maybe he didn't get the whole family.
Maybe he wanted the whole family.
Right.
Okay, I like that. That's a good idea.
Collecting the whole
set. Easy.
Yes. Mysterious boy in white. Which side is he on? I definitely waffle on that one.
Well, because he could be on either side,
or neither.
Yeah. Because even if you think about Lost, you could, both Jacob and the Man in Black could both be seen as villains and good guys if you really think about it.
Oh yeah, easily. Jacob does some sus things too. Let's be honest.
Some really and some fucked up things too. Just for the greater good sort of aspect of it. So. Is there really two sides that you could say one is good and one is evil?
I don't know.
It could just be two opposing forces.
That's where I'm kind of leaning a little bit more. It just seems like this show is just a little too complex to be boiled down to simple good versus evil. I think there's something a little more complex going on here. Like that. Maybe there's just these two forces, neither good, neither evil, but just locked in eternal struggle. This kind of cosmic chess match game that a lot of people have been theorizing about.
Chicago made gaming and media ask, has anyone seen the new trailer? I have not peeped it just yet.
I have not either.
Photos and stuff out from it, so I'm gonna try to go check it out at some point, if not tonight in the morning. So, but yes, and then which I'm sure Jeremy, you're probably going to show it tomorrow, right?
It's actually up on my channel right now, the episode 3 trailer.
All right, guys, go check out Jeremy Ice and Fire. He's got it up on his channel, guys. And eventually I will get the images, hopefully this week before Friday, so we can dive into them as well. Let's see what else we got. Golden Child says, so did the priest know Victor from the past? And yes, the sus priest and how he talked to Tabitha. Did he know Victor? Did he recognize the lunchbox?
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. Those little things, I'm just so like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to put maybe.
I think he heard stories.
Being from the town, right? You would hear
Yeah.
something like that.
Like he's familiar with it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's possible with the father. It's even possible that maybe he went to the father with the police or something to try to help with grief or anything like that, or just rumors from the town itself.
Yeah, rumors from the town. Might secretly be a ghost hunter or something.
Well, yeah, we watched Evil, so he could be like Exorcist style.
Yeah.
Priests can be very fucked up, as we've seen in Evil. So I wouldn't put anything past them.
Just Janice says, makes sense to lure Henry back. He may be one of the few people on the outside that has some concept of Fromville. It's like I said, I don't put anything past them because they definitely like to steer us in a direction and then totally flip the script on us a little bit. So it is possible. I mean, I didn't assume they were trying to get Henry back, but I mean,
and if they are trying to get Henry back, it makes me wonder, has Henry told Tabitha everything he knows, or is there something else that Henry hasn't really filled her in on yet? Does he know a little more than maybe he's even saying?
That's true too. So many possibilities. Oh, such a good show. Such a good episode, man. Because we got some things to look forward to. We got some questions answered. Yes. At least we got some kind of answers, right? I mean,
yeah, nothing crazy, but at least finally finding out where Miranda knew everything she knew, because that was one thing we were wondering, like, how the heck does she know all this about these Ankui children in the tower? How does she know all this stuff? Is she getting visions? Is Eloise getting visions and telling her? At least now we get that definitive answer that Miranda was seeing this place apparently before she even got here.
Yeah, and they didn't drag it out and make it longer than it needed to be. They just, I was kind of laughing because Henry did just pure exposition dump. It's just like, I remember this and this and this, and then she said this. Like, God damn, all right.
I'm usually
can you tell us a little more?
Yeah,
keep talking.
I usually like that. It's like it can kind of be a mark of lazy storytelling at times when you see just exposition dumps like that, where a writer is telling you something instead of showing you something. But in this case, it just worked. It worked perfectly for the scene they were trying to convey. As much as I'm not a big fan of these kind of expositions, it just it fit here for what they were trying to let us know.
Especially with them having the images there, as she's kind of Tabitha's looking through them and telling the story of From, and then going back and forth.
You're seeing and hearing it at the same time with the images. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's not like in every horror movie where like there's that one the nerd expert that's like, oh, in the 18th century this and this happened, and like they know everything about the house that they happen to be trapped in or something. But this one was a guy who remembered every word that his missing wife said. He's like he's holding on to that memory. So it was at least a little plausible.
And I know you were relieved, Ravener, as was I, that we see so many shows and movies these days kind of lean into the same old tropes time and time again. And one trope that is just as played out as any other trope out there is the alcoholic, abusive father trope. So I was really glad that they didn't lean into that, and they really kind of it was the complete opposite. It was, this guy's just a regular grieving father who misses his family.
Miranda's the screwed up druggie who just took her kids into a nightmare realm.
Real believes that this is a crystal ball and not a snow globe. That may be how they see and hear things even during the day.
Okay.
It was real in the chat, or did he just miss
No.
Okay, I was like,
I think I remember him saying that he didn't think it was a snow globe. It was a crystal ball. Yeah, and it could be. Very well could be. Who knows?
And I like this. I know they had mentioned this earlier in the chat, and I'm gonna bring it back up because you were with us, Jeremy. Will Smalls asked, and why did Henry not mention Eloise at all? Seems like Eloise came home to Henry. So yes, where is Eloise? We sort of went around and talked about it a little bit, but we'll go again. What do you think? Where is she? Why is she just like
I
mysteriously
don't
not
think
even?
she returned.
Oh,
I mean, if she returned to Henry, I mean, at the very least, Henry would have some idea of where his family has been this whole time. It seems like Henry's just in the complete dark. He has his whole family disappeared, and that's it. So I get the feeling Eloise never returned to Henry. Where she ended up, did she end up in the real world? Is she really still back in Fromville? I don't know. But I don't think she ever made contact with Henry again, just based on how dumbfounded he was when he hears from Tabitha here.
And the bedroom was kept perfectly intact in its 10-year-old form, the bunk beds and stuff. So yeah, because this is my kid's rooms or whatever he said when he showed the bunk bed.
Yeah.
So I don't think at all. It's not like she's like working a shift at Little Caesars or something. She'll just stroll through the door in a minute.
And Susie Greenberg says, definitely think Eloise is going to get dug up. Prepare yourselves. Ooh, is that what he finds? The first thing Victor found was remembering his sister that even had a sister. So now is it remembering what happened to his sister? That's a good point.
Oh, man.
Yeah, maybe he's suppressing that.
Jen Hack says maybe Miranda would have succeeded if she had brought Henry along. Why did she leave without him? Was that on purpose?
That's what I want to know. Did Miranda purposely try to go in Fromville? I mean, like, it seems like she felt like she was chosen. She wanted to go save these Ankui children. Did she deliberately try to enter Fromville with her children? Like,
I mean, what do you guys think? JH, what do you think on that?
She'd be a terrible mother if that was the case.
For real, right? It's
I don't think she intentionally went looking for it with her kids.
I hope not.
Oh no, I think she just happened to get there.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. I mean, because I just can't see her intentionally bringing her children there. She might have wanted to go there and rescue these Ankui children, but why would she want to bring her kids there and endanger them, especially if she's seeing all this crazy stuff? She already knows this place is dangerous. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's probably more along the lines of they were just heading out somewhere, her and the kids, and boom, they got sucked into Fromville.
Yeah, and what we know is like every single person didn't plan to come. They may have been chosen in one way or another, like Katri, etc. But at least the people that are being chosen to go through, all were unaware of it. But somehow with the ambulance now, we see the officer and at least the ambulance driver, because we see the ambulance driver out of the vehicle when he's looking at the tree in the road. So do you think that at least somewhere between now and then, Tabitha's going to discover, if Tabitha's even in the truck, maybe she isn't in the ambulance, that they're going to discover some way to make it happen, like to positively make it happen rather than just randomly get caught by the whatever it is that drags them in. Like they'll discover a way.
Maybe.
Okay.
And says, why not ask about his other family? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, well, I feel like they're going to discover something. I mean, they've been hitting us over the head with these interviews saying that escape is going to be a real and tantalizing possibility for the survivors in season 3. So if Tabitha does make it back, then it stands to reason that maybe she will, I don't know, I mean, is she going to convey to them how she left and they're going to think that's a way out for everybody? Or are they
Then they all go to the lighthouse and start jumping out the
That's what I'm saying. It's like I can't picture the whole town piling up in this lighthouse and just doing a bunch of swan dives.
See who's going to be the test dummy.
Yeah, no shit. The first one through, like, hey, like drag a mattress out to the side of that hiking path.
There's no guarantee you'll get home.
I know.
Wound up in Camden.
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
What else? It says, no, she packed too many things for them. She planned that trip while Henry was at work. Ooh.
Yeah, if that's the case, I mean, and again, that could very well be possible because that was the first thought that popped into my head was, man, did she really intentionally try to go there with her kids? But I
Do you
don't
think
know.
the
I mean,
voices told her she had the only way to get there was with her kids?
maybe. Well, yeah.
Mm,
Delsenia said something earlier that maybe it was one of these things where it was just like this kind of compelling force where she just kind of couldn't even help herself. She just felt herself drawn to the place and happened to have the kids with her at the time. I could see maybe something like that happening a little more likely than her just deliberately, knowingly putting her children in danger and still going for it. Maybe it was a little bit more like something was just drawing her in there. I don't know.
Well, because we do know Father Kotri heard voices. And now that we know
Yeah,
that she heard voices, do you think they're the same voices?
maybe. Could be. I
yeah.
mean, it certainly seems like that wasn't really God that was, luring Father Kotri off of that ledge and into Fromville. It seemed like it was, if it wasn't the boy in white, some other kind of entity from town. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
A lot of possibilities. And Jedhack asks, is there an ambulance toy on the tower stairs? I believe there was.
Yes.
So again, some of that just foreshadowing in the show, or is there more to it with the theories out there of Victor and possibly this being, or maybe even now his mom, even, or their family? Like, what is it with their family? Is there some other connections there since she sees things? Are they making things happen?
Mm,
Who knows?
yeah. What's special about this Kavanaugh family that they want him in Fromville?
We
Will
hear
Small says, those children don't exist. They are a lure. How can you save children from 1500s? There's something about children being locked up that makes me feel it's a lie to get hope up. Ooh, definitely could be. They could be
I mean,
one of
we
the
hear Donna say
versions of the
that, and it's like
monster, right? I mean, like
it could
Kotri or
be.
something.
Or we're getting all these ideas that Miranda's getting all these ideas that she was felt like she was chosen and felt like she was even seeing past versions of her that were chosen to save these children, but they've all failed. And we hear, one thing we always hear in the show, and we just heard Donna say in this recent episode, the game is effing rigged. And maybe it's one of those things. Maybe it is meant to, portray the hope that you're supposed to save these kids, knowing that it's the kind of Kobayashi Maru of tests that you can never pass.
Mm-hmm. Delsini says, take a look at the ambulance from episode 1 she was talking about, I believe. Yes, I know, and I do not remember. I know I want to say Parkland Media and probably some of you other guys out there, and probably even you, Jeremy. I just have not been keeping up with everybody's stuff. But yeah, the ambulance I believe is the same one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had it ready to go.
Like 1097 or something, the exact number.
I didn't get a good shot of it, did I? Of course not. Dang it, I didn't get a good shot of it. Yes, there's the ambulance, like right over here. This one, it has like the same numbers and all that good jazz on it. So yeah, again, what is the connection? Is it going to bring them back? Who knows? I'm
Well,
kind of hoping
one
not.
thing
If that's the ambulance and they're coming back in, and I'm kind of be disappointed.
I'm very disappointed if that really is the case because I think a lot of us were really looking forward to having Tabitha have, like a really long, arduous journey that brought her back to her family that made the payoff worth it when she does eventually get back. If she's arriving this quick, it does feel a little anticlimactic unless she's bringing some kind of profound revelation with her. It's going to feel a little bit of not a wasted opportunity of a storyline, but one that wasn't maybe meant to its potential, its full potential, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. If she returns without any knowledge about the whole process of making it happen, then it's completely wasted. Because that's the one thing that she will get if she can figure out a way to make it happen rather than just randomly accidentally be brought in. Why is she even out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think, Jay?
don't think they have the real estate to tell the story that we would like it to be told. It's not like they have 24 episodes like Lost, right?
Yeah.
very
Well, I'm
true.
hoping maybe before they come back, maybe while they're traveling or whatever happens to them, they'll something before that or within the conversations revealed. I wanted just a little bit more. But
A little bit more, just a smidge.
Yeah, maybe
But
that's
I'm
what
pretty
Victor's
satisfied.
maybe that's what Victor's digging up. Maybe it's Miranda's journal or something. Like she
Ooh.
documented it
Yeah.
instead of just
Well, it
whack
seems like
paintings.
whatever Victor is digging up, it's going to be something that he's going to be struggling to come to grips with, based on the synopsis for the following episode. Whatever he's looking for, he does end up finding, but apparently it's something that really throws him for a loop, I guess.
Let's see what else we got in the chat. Catch up with some of you guys again. Oh. Will Small says, "Thanks, Story had fun little details on what was it? Brenda's move truck calendar in Henry's house. Colony house and Boyd's trailer was also Brenda's move.
Brenda's
Oh yeah,
move,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was the moving company was linked
Yeah.
to a few different things. It was Boyd's trailer, the calendar, and the ad when he pulled up the missing persons thing on the internet.
On the internet, yeah.
And it says,
And
no way she goes back in the 3rd episode.
it can't be. It would be so disappointing, man. Ugh, I really hope not.
Because then what would she have got? Like, what they really would have left it very unsatisfying, unless they're going to tell us right before she gets in the ambulance, like what?
Unless she picks up something huge, like early in episode 3. I mean, maybe it could make it feel worth it, but I don't know, man.
Right, it almost makes it feel pointless.
Risey's got a good
comment. Like, get her to leave to only come back like this soon. Like, what was the point?
Yeah,
what was the build up for?
I was really hoping she was going to go on a pretty long journey, like an excruciatingly long journey. Like, maybe don't even have her come back into Fromville at all in season 3. Save the return for like season 4. Even make that reunion worth it. Like, remember the reunions on Lost, like, you know, the Sun and Jin reunions, all these reunions for these characters that spent so many episodes apart from each other and so much time that when the reunions did come along, it felt worth it. It was earned. It was a good payoff. This won't have that feeling if she's coming back that soon.
And thanks for hanging with us tonight, Garrett. We hope you have an awesome night, and we'll see you on the next one, bud.
What is up, Garrett?
Let's see what else we got. Anything else you guys want to talk about on the episode, feel free to put it in the chat, and I will promise you guys I'll get to you. I will get to you all.
Well, Rosie had a good one in there, and because I noticed this as well. The casting for Victor's father was spot on, phenomenal. Even the mannerisms on Henry were just giving me heavy Victor vibes. So yeah, they killed it with the casting for Henry.
Yes, and welcome, Rosie. Always glad to see you hanging with us.
Rosie.
See what else we got.
I know.
Victor tells. All right. So Michael says Victor tells Ethan they are both chosen. So yes, there could be multiple chosen in the town at one time. I'm telling you, that totally gave me Lost vibes, Dana. We'll talk about that. I don't know, just multiple people, and I know like one is like the chosen, but you know what I'm saying? Like those multiple people kind of chosen to be brought there, and they had the final one. It was all sort of like who's going to get it.
There's so many different possibilities because Elgin's being visited by that kimono lady ghost. Fatima and her weird pregnancy. Like Sarah hearing voices. Now you have the 3 who saw the cicadas. Like so many people have been through stuff, so it's hard to say who was chosen for what.
Yeah,
they could all be chosen in a sense.
That's true.
And I know we talked about this a little bit in the Discord last night, and I 100% agree that this could easily be a possibility where Tabitha might not even be the chosen one, and it's really Jade. Tabitha isn't seeing any of her past versions of her, and on top of that, Tabitha isn't seeing any of this stuff that Miranda is seeing. Tabitha only saw the children, and only twice. I mean, Miranda is seeing a whole plethora of weird shit, just like Jade is. She saw past versions of herself, just like Jade is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's not Tabitha, maybe Jade could be a potential chosen one, because I feel like he fits the bill better than Tabitha does currently, anyway.
Yeah, especially when y'all y'all were talking about the drugs and how that might with Miranda, right? Because how she got it.
Yeah.
Jade was highly intoxicated when he entered
was
in From.
definitely on some kind of tryptamine too, not just high.
Mhm.
He was on a tryptamine based on the way that he was looking, very much like the acid that Miranda was on. So,
But
hell
wait,
yeah.
with the winter, does that mean they don't have weed anymore? They don't have any more good crops?
Oh
Holy
no!
shit!
Don't tell me that.
Oh shit! They'll have no more potatoes. How's Jade gonna make it? The bar is now completely destroyed. Like they have no bar essentially. The diner, I guess, is still there, but now Kenny's starting to destroy that. We got a house that's destroyed. Like the town is literally starting to crumble.
It is. Everything's changing. It's, the from the conditions outside to the conditions inside the town. Everything is in a state of change.
Oh, and Michael brings up a good point. Cautry was possibly drunk when he heard the voices.
Yeah, I imagine he was. Yeah.
And yes, Jen Hack, no weed. I know it. Look, and the one who was bringing it on was what Fatima. She's all down and out now, so she can't even help produce it. This is truly a dark winter for the town of Fromville.
It's a true nightmare now.
Yeah. Fatima let it keep growing until it's nothing but seeds and stems.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's what the baby wants.
Yeah, cut off all the buds. You can't have those. They're like before they mature. Like what was it? The Addams Family, the mom, she cut all the buds off.
Oh,
Didn't want none of that stuff. Throw those away. Those were horrible. Keep the stems. They're beautiful.
Hey, did anybody find it weird that like they every time they talked about Tien-Chen, it's like she died, Tien-Chen died, or Kenny's mom died. It wasn't the monsters got her or she was killed or anything like that. It was always that kind of like a little bit distant. Like 2 or 3 times they when one character said it to another, it kind of stuck out to me. It's like really strange. Oh, Kenny's mom died. Oh, just like of old age or what? No, the thing's tore her to shreds for over several hours. Oh, that leads me to another thing. Boyd was there for the whole time, so he has a little more info than even we do. Did they split immediately after Tien-Chen was dead? Did they wait till right before daylight? He has a little more insight as to their behavior too. So I'd like to see if he even mentions that.
It seems
Anything
like they had
about
the presence of mind to leave the handcuff key right in his front pocket so he could get let out in the morning.
Right.
He said they left it there. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed like Jade tried to get it out of him a little bit, but he, of course, at that moment he wasn't talking as much. Maybe he will. Maybe they'll get to the town meeting.
Yeah, exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
because he took him
a
how many?
flashback to what Boyd had in that episode, where he's kind of flashing back, and we're actually seeing Tien-Chen get ripped up. We get another similar kind of flash to maybe the monsters departing.
Right. Especially if they're trying to trap him, anything he has, any info he has about their behavior will be super valuable. And we know finally, he finally got around to detailing exactly about the tent and the spider webs and the stuff before Jem and Kenny left. Maybe they'll share that. And I wonder though, I mean, will they be able to fit it into the plot in a way that it seemed organic and still give us the info, or is it even necessary info for us to have? That's another thing that I'd like to know, but they may not like JH says, they may not have the real estate to fit in every little bit.
Yeah.
See, Michael says, yep, real Cautry is a little sus. Ghost Cautry is really sus. Yes. Was Cautry a real priest, or was he on the run? I know someone else had brought that up a minute ago in the chat. And yeah, I mean, I think he was a real priest. I want to say I believe his story, but who knows,
believe his
man?
story.
I don't know. This show, basically, after this season, I don't believe anything anymore.
I think he was being truthful. I think Father Cautry is telling the truth with his story.
I do.
For sure. Because I don't think that was a real detailed story to make up. Like, and you could see like what it cost him almost. He was ready to jump off a bridge.
Let me make up a story about how I killed a guy, like, and let this kid down and led to his death. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that seems legit.
Rozzy S says, I was just thinking, how did the monsters get out if the stone was on the door? How did they move it? Yes, how does the mystery behind talismans work? Since they were already in the barn, does that kind of just null and
You
void
had a
it?
thought about that, Jeremy, right? You said that
I feel like we don't
open
know
the other door.
Yeah, I feel like we don't know 100%, but it seems like if the monsters are inside with the talisman, it's kind of null and void at that point. But like you said, I mean, is there a possibility where if you get a monster inside an enclosed space and hang up the talisman on the outside, could that potentially keep one in? Because it seems like if it's hung up on the inside with them inside, they can knock it down, or it's null and void at that point.
True.
Yeah, because either it falls or they knock it down like they did with Megan and Lauren's house, Frank's house. That was the first one. I think that was the one he gave to the Matthews, right? Boyd picks it up off the ground, so it either falls down on its own or the monsters are able to knock it down when it's ineffectual. So it's not like they can't touch it, I think. And even Donna says it's just another rock.
Yeah,
another rock. Yeah,
like when she told Randall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about on this episode. Let's see what else we got. Somehow Ghost Kotri is looking finer post-mortem. That's what Sarah said. It might have been her voice. Okay. Maybe. But yeah, guys, I don't know. We might get ready to shut it down. I'm trying to think of what else. What else we got? Last question for what do you guys want to know in the chat? What are your last question? Comment on the episode. Where do you stand with it?
I'll ask you guys a question. I asked it last time as like the closer, so we'll close it out with this one. Did this episode change any of your thoughts or theories that you had? We'll start with you, Jay. Did JH leave us, or is he still here?
Yeah, he just stepped out. I think he was calling it a night. It is getting late.
Yes. So, Jeremy, did it change anything for you?
Not really. I don't think it really changed any pre-existing theories I had. I mean, I came up with some new ones, but no, I don't think it really changed any ones that I had coming in.
Okay. What about you, Ravener? Anything changed for you?
Yeah. I mean, I was I'm not a theory guy. I am very moderate in theory crafting and only really want to look at what the show has provided us to go off of without getting too wild. But the Fatima eating the rotten whatever, is like, okay, what's going on with the baby? Okay, I don't know. It could be anything. Is it a natural pregnancy? Is it going to be a natural pregnancy with complications? We talked about, even Ellis talked about, is it going to have claws and fangs or whatever? Now this thing, watching that, and the way they left us, the way they just showed her chowing down on those rotten things, and then just went on to the next scene. It's like, oh shit! And I don't think I think it would be the biggest cop out ever if they're just trying to, if they just even talk about Pica or whatever. So it is adding some weird. They're adding a supernatural element to it, or something, if not supernatural, incredibly unnatural, like a reversal of natural process. Wholesome food, her body rejects it, but this rotten stuff, she's just craving it, and that really opened up. Because you always wonder, are they going the supernatural route? What kind of supernatural things? There's a lot of unexplained things, but you can't really put your finger on a supernatural thing. But this one here, it's like, ooh, okay. It definitely kind of like, at least half of it's what you know and half of it's what you know isn't so. And we know that it's not something natural for her now. It's something wildly unnatural. And how the show writers explain it or what comes next, I don't know. But Fatima just got a hell of a lot more interesting as a character to me.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely,
see what
definitely.
you guys are saying. You guys are killing it. Let's see. Will Kenny's mom is from Wild Majorum. Will Kenny's mom come back as a ghost to haunt Kenny? I hope not.
Oof.
Oh, can't take any more. My heart breaking. Just Genesis, I think the red rockin' man drinking out of the skull is near or on the other side of the lake by the veggies. Yes. He's definitely out there in the woods, so it is possible. The new location. Let's see what else we got. And Susie says Boyd should be the one to test it since they won't kill him. Definitely for the trap. I wonder if Boyd is the one out there, would they kill him or just try to grab him up again? Interesting. I don't know. I think
he stands at least the best chance of surviving. I mean, it does seem like they don't want him dead yet. So maybe, yeah.
That's possible. Laserbean says, Miranda did the paintings. What's your thoughts on the bottle tree Tabitha will find? And yes, I definitely, after seeing the paintings, would want to think that she created the bottle tree, even maybe as a way to get to From, if she was trying to get there.
Exactly.
But who knows?
Exactly right. I think she saw that vision of the thought. Maybe she saw the vision of the bottle faraway tree, and maybe, I mean, she somehow knew that was, the way to get to the tower. Maybe she was trying to create her own shortcut to the tower or to Fromville right from that tree. I definitely think that's what that is. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll find out the real meaning for what because again, you got all the dates that are in the bottles and all these other weird factors. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's.
What if she was like putting them in the bottles and somehow they were traversing through, I don't know, reality? They were all from her. She put the dates. It was all Miranda.
She put the dates in? Oof, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I want to know.
I know. Start going way out there. Let's see what else we got. Papa Sock says, what time is the last bus to Colony House? We got the goods and we can resupply. I'm not sure. How was the last bus to Colony House? I don't know what time it was. And if they're going to get a new one, maybe? Not sure. Not sure.
Do you think we'll get another person to replace Chin Chin?
Yep. The cop Acosta.
Oh. But then they're going to lose the driver, right? The ambulance driver?
Yep.
So it'll be +2, -1? Okay.
Yeah, Jade he took up for Tom in a sense. I wonder if they're gonna replace him with somebody that is gonna help cook now. I guess Fatima doesn't need the cooking. It's rotten.
No, you just gotta go outside and pull it out of the freaking ground. Pull it out of that mountain that's fucking piled up back.
Pile of compost.
Yeah.
Stephen pile of compost
in that thing like Scrooge McDuck did with his gold. She's going to dive head first.
She's going to have to explain it at some point, one way or the other. I mean, you can't just even if she wants to, just constantly wander out to the rotten. Hey, Fatima, this is the 8th trip to the rotten food pile.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's gonna, and again, she's gonna get seen by somebody eventually, and it looks like Fanny Pat Granny might actually spot her, mowing down on some rotten food in this.
Go up to Boyd. I think you need to know that pregnant girl over there, she's been eating rotten food.
Yeah. Tilly's been everywhere else. Why wouldn't she, right?
Yeah.
But no, one thing I would love to know, from a production standpoint, is anytime you have a nasty scene like this where an actor is, eating something disgusting on scene, usually that really is them eating something disgusting, but it's something that they kind of make look disgusting. Like they do it on Walking Dead all the time, where whether it's the walkers chewing on people's flesh or Rick biting a chunk out of a dude's neck, they'll usually always use chicken or beef and they'll dress it up to make it look like flesh. So I wonder what they concocted to make that rotten,
Probably like a cake,
vegetable
right?
like that.
Yeah, I thought it looked like
I'd
bread.
be interested to know. I mean, bread would probably be a good idea just because you can kind of make it look really nasty and it's kind of easy to eat. But I always wondered what they used in that scene. I mean, because
It just seemed like the cake art out there, right? Like
Yeah,
these people are making
Michelle says
cakes that
cake.
look like real items.
Yeah, because you could bite into it and it will still hold its form like a veggie
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Yep. You can have it any color you want at that point too. You can make it look really rotten if you want. Because I don't know. I'm just always interested in the production standpoint. Because she was clearly eating something real in that scene, and it definitely wasn't really rotten food.
Mm.
Well, it was probably just a purple donut or something. Who knows?
Could be. But yeah, practical effects, man, can't beat them.
That shit did look rotten though. I was like, oh, ooh. And she was just loving it. It was like the best food she had in like forever.
Oh yes, devouring it.
A piece of sponge cake.
She's
That's
eating
so
on
gross.
death and decay incarnate, essentially. Like, this is not a good sign.
So is her baby going to be like a little fungus mushroom baby? I don't know. It's eating rot. That's the first thing I think of when I think of like something that's on rotting stuff, like some kind of fungus. I don't know.
It's gonna come out.
I don't know. Come on, Solar asks, when do you think the Nkui kids were trapped? 1506 or 1864? Ooh. Ooh, I don't even know. Ooh.
No clue. No clue.
I
mean,
a random pick, 1864.
1864 seems to have some pretty good prevalence in the show already. I mean, it's the number Boyd picked, the Civil War soldier right around that kind of time. And yeah, the children's clothes definitely looked like it was a bit older. I mean, it wasn't modern by any means. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, guys. I think that we are going to end it on that one for tonight. Save some more for the next streams. I know, Jeremy, you going live tomorrow night, and I know we'll be in the chat hanging out with all you guys, theory crafting, talking about the episode as we continue to ready ourselves for the next one of the season. It just keeps getting better. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
And I just want to say again to you and Dana, another personal thank you. You guys gave me the coolest freaking birthday present that I really will always cherish. And I love seeing that you guys are doing your thing here, having some awesome freaking streams. And super proud of you guys and super happy for you. And again, thank you so much.
Oh,
no. And thank you for all you've done for us, the community, all the people you've helped or bring together, or both. Because you're awesome too. And Ravener as well. You're awesome as well. We will have something for you too. We'll get everybody. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
I
so
didn't
much.
know it was also your friggin' birthday. Like
It was crazy.
It's like, I need a calendar. I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah. Within like 2 days, there's a ton of Libra birthdays out here. September birthdays.
Yeah,
a lot of you guys and girls out there.
Yeah. My sister's September 23rd. My older brother's October 1st, and I'm the 27th. I was like, Mom, what the hell what were you like Christmas presents? And she's like,
what's going on that time of year?
I know. I asked her. She's like, oh, your dad was always take vacation in January for hunting season. I'm like, God damn, what was he hunting, Mom?
That's awesome.
Oh, fuck. Oh my gosh. Wow. Great story. Raver's always got the best stories, guys. You don't know.
He really does. It's the fucking best. Yeah.
But again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Awesome stream. You guys killing it as always in the chat. I mean, keep it up. As Jeremy says, keep them tinfoil hats on. Keep it coming. And until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Trapped in Fromville, where nightmares collide. Monsters in the shadows, nowhere to hide. Lighthouse flickers, visions in the dark. Every step forward, another ripped apart. Street filled with whispers, eyes always peek. Nightmares descend, sanity's on the streak. Doors creak open, shadows start to move. Town's got a rhythm, every step's a groove. Farmville nights, monsters out to feed. Trapped in visions, fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift. Screams echo through the misty air. Every corner turned, you find despair. Hope is a phantom, trapped in the gloom. Monsters own the night, sealing your doom. Town's got secrets, buried underground. Every lost soul, here they are found. Cursed by the darkness, can't break free. Vision after vision, haunting memories. Farmville nights, monsters out to feed. Trapped in visions, fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift.
You don't fucking break me. That's what she said.
Fear plants the seed. Lighthouse calls, but escapes a myth. Nightmares wrap around on an endless drift.
What? Okay, say it again. I know. Come on, please don't. Hey, don't. Okay, look at him. Keep looking at him. I'm sorry. You're so